And we are live.
Ooh.
I almost messed up and pressed the button on my stream deck. I reached for it and stopped myself. The force of habit. I don't know why. You think I would be able to tell the difference between Tuesday and any other day of the week?
Nope.
They all blur. They all blur on one day.
It's a day that ends in Y.
Yeah, pretty much. Like what today is it? Ends in Y. Ends in Y day. Yeah, that's what every day is now. Ends in Y day.
Precisely.
So how is everyone?
Tired.
Hanging in there.
Saw some of you yesterday as we tried not to die.
Oh,
I'd say I'm doing better than yesterday because I'm not terrified for our characters.
we happened to succeed yesterday, at least thus far.
Yeah.
Yeah, I need to rewatch the beginning of that episode to see how the hell you Scooby Gang did that shit.
DM Mercy. I'm telling you now, it was straight
Yeah,
DM Mercy.
it was
There
a
was
common
DM Mercy.
and extra life mercy.
Yeah.
I don't know. You guys were doing a pretty good job of picking each other up and getting the hell out of there. The autosave did help with that. But outside of that, I mean, you guys got each other up using the lenses to get rid of those effects and healed each other and actually started to run like a smart party would.
I mean, if you want to
Look.
call us starting to run and feel us being stubborn, but sure.
Look, there's no need to insult us and start calling us smart, okay?
Now, I didn't say you were smart. I just said you did one smart thing.
Ah, okay.
And now you've given us a beast of Ilagu, following us around for us to antagonize. So let's see how smart we are.
Maybe don't call him Fluffy to his face. He can understand you.
I don't know that.
Yeah.
I still vote for calling you Fluffy. It's a
Fluffy.
I mean, I was thinking Spot last night, so he's that big yellow spot.
As long as you don't start calling him Beauregard.
Oh,
I mean, we all know that's his real name.
I know
Beauregard
is his real name. He just
The
Oh, wait,
second
wait,
you
no.
call him Beauregard, I'm taking him out of the campaign.
Oh wait, Beauregard's too simple to spell. There's not enough, consonants in the name.
There's not enough X's and J's in the name.
Doesn't look like somebody just slammed their face on the keyboard and that's what name they got.
Yeah, and I still want to put an
ASDF.
N in that name every time I say it.
Besides, that dog doesn't deserve the glory of the name Beauregard. It has not achieved best.
Hasn't earned best doggo name.
Yeah,
yet.
it has not achieved best boy status.
He said about the dog that kept us from 3 encounters.
There can be no other Beauregard anyway, because Beauregard still exists as a hellhound for all time.
Yeah, well, I mean, for those that didn't get to see my game past Saturday, my party actually has a Beauregard now in the form of a Onyx, the Onyx Hound.
Is it-
wondrous item?
Is its name actually Beauregard?
Yes, that's its command word.
Nice.
That's awesome.
It's like, oh, there's an Onyx dog in this chapter. And it's like, it has a command word. I usually don't worry about command words, but since it was an Onyx dog, the command word had to be Beauregard. So that's what the command word is for it. It was great. It was summoned and disenchanted. Well, not permanently, but taken out within a round of it being summoned.
I mean, if I ever get a dog of my own or anything, I'm just gonna name it Beauregard. That meme not that meme, but that name will live on forever for any dog. I use it for dogs in video games. If I get a pet dog, it's named Beauregard.
As long as I don't have to go anywhere near it, we're good.
Taking it over to TwitchCon.
I will not be going that year.
Yeah, I also posted a
Oh,
version. I also posted a Wayward Wanderers version of the raccoon.
Yeah,
in the OC.
I
Oh,
saw
yeah.
Circus Raccoon. That was amazing.
I loved it.
Little raccoon bouncing on a ball, spinning plates.
That's exactly how he appeared to the party. It's like, they were like, "What the hell is this?"
Now, does Pathfinder have a version of the deck of many things?
I think the deck of many things is from Pathfinder 1E. I don't know if it was actually ported into 2E.
Okay.
The Paizo changed a lot of things between 1E and 2E. I mean, 1E is still a thing. I mean, they're still tacitly updating it, but there's a huge Pathfinder 1E community still.
Yeah, 1E is technically D&D 3.5.1. It's a patch.
Yeah.
But yeah. You guys got into some shenanigans here last week as well, as you began your watches in the grove that your Mothman friend said that you can take a bit of a respite for the night, camp out without any threats of the undead shambling about in the miasma around the protective field that his lanterns had created. For the most part, everything went okay. Didn't have any real issue in regards to watch for most of the night until it was Dorngal's watch, when a strange ogre flanked by what you can only assume were two henchmen wandered into the camp looking for a coin. A small, smooth iron coin that Rield had previously found during his watch. Thanks to some quick thinking and low perception rolls by the ogres, no fight happened as they began to befriend Dorngal, believing he was a magic talking bear.
You mean he's not?
Well, I mean, he is a talking bear and he casts magic, so maybe.
I mean, you know,
By definition.
I mean, if you want to look at it empirically,
But
then yes.
after some back and forth and quick thinking from some group members, you help them find their coin that they can connect to the Annis hag that he would only refer to as boss. So before he left, in thanks, he told Dorngal of his name of Big Brain. And warned him to watch out for traps that were set up on the path to the north. The closer that they got to an area where the ogres had been camped out. As you started your journey the next day, you came across a very disturbing sight as you ran into an ogrepede, a strange undead creature that was multiple ogre bodies stitched together. Upon slaying the creature, it spewed out multiple orange oozes that you then did battle with, along with a couple sap-covered zombies. So you were able to slay the creatures with almost relative ease. No one fell, nothing was lost, all limbs are intact. And as we pick up today, the group is still standing in that clearing after dispatching the ogrepede and the oozes that leaked out of its corpse. The time is roughly getting to be around noon at this point. You'll have about another good half day before you would need to sit down and settle into camp. Every now and then, you begin to hear war drums picking up in the distance. Just another reminder that somewhere out there, somewhere close, there is an ogre camp waiting for you to stumble upon it. So as we pick up today, what are you all doing?
I am listening to goose noises for some reason.
I have a quick question.
Okay.
Is there anything I can do without having to use a magic item to try and get Rutgar to raise his wisdom score by a point?
There is, but it's gonna take a bit of training in order to raise it.
Okay. Then whatever that is, or whatever the mechanics are,
It's not something you're gonna be able to do out on the field. It's kind of like a downtime exercise, like when you have an extended stay in a town, or
yeah, I mean that's
breaks.
fine, but because his wisdom is 12, I need it to be a 13 so I can multi-class him into a druid.
Oh, okay, I see what you're saying.
So I want to officially start, training him and increasing his wisdom and imparting druidic knowledge to him.
Okay. So let's say like every night you have him begin to study the druidic philosophies, just giving him like a crash course on what it is to be a druid.
So you want to be a druid?
Yep,
Druid for dummies.
druid for dummies. I'm pretty sure somebody wrote it, probably Volo.
Volo's Guide to Everything.
Volo's Guide to Nature. Don't eat this plant.
I mean,
Eat
fair.
this
Poisonous.
plant.
How would you know? Well, my assistant died, so
I mean, let's put it this way. That's Volo's scientific method right
That's
there.
pretty much how Volo
Yeah.
finds out about shit, dupes other people into doing the shit he knows better to do.
Yep.
he's one smart motherfucker. Hey, you want to try something for me? I'll get you some gold. Yeah, sure. Why not?
Well, Jimothy number 7 died to this mushroom.
We're gonna need another Timmy.
Yep.
And just bring him back as undead and keep doing it to him.
No,
So-
that's Mordenkainen.
Yeah, Mordenkainen would do that.
Yeah, Mordenkainen's an asshole.
And then Tasha would just make you laugh like an idiot.
I played the first 2 chapters of that campaign. Mordenkainen's a dick.
They're all dicks. They're wizards.
Fair point.
Yeah.
Put them all in a room. Who would win?
Let's not do that.
Let's not do that.
No one who comes near them.
Everyone would lose.
They'd probably coalesce to try and take over the world.
They're like, why are we fighting each other? Our combined strength, we just rule everything.
Pretty much.
They would team up to take over the world, all the while planning how to kill each other once that was accomplished, so that they could be the sole ruler of the world.
All of them had, had delayed quick cast, delayed blast fireball ready to take the other one out.
Like 20 years back.
It would take like an eternity for them to actually accomplish taking over the world, because they'd only be telling each other half truths, so they'd never be working on all the information.
Yep. Wizards. Anyway, as you are in this area and you hear the drums every now and then, what is your point of order?
How many hours of daylight are left approximately?
You've got you probably got a good 6 hours of daylight before the sun begins to set.
If we want to take a short rest, I can give us some time, about an hour, to sit and rest in a safe place. At least from the undead.
I think a short rest might be good for most of us.
Okay. Let me just double check my spell, make sure it does what I think it does.
Are you getting a tiny hut?
No, but I have magic circle.
That works too.
So I'm gonna cast magic. I'm gonna take my minute to cast magic circle. But I need everyone to huddle up in a 10-foot radius because that's
Group hug.
all the room I got. Tight, but I think we can all fit.
Should be able to all fit, yeah.
While she's getting that ready, I'm going to I'm gonna just peruse the bodies and see if there was anything. I doubt it, but why not look?
Go ahead and give me an investigation roll.
Zero on this character. 12.
12. You don't find anything that you would want to pick, like possibly pick up and try to either use or sell. I mean, these zombies don't really seem to have the top layer of their skin. It seems as they were enveloped in this sap, it seemed the sap was very slowly beginning to dissolve them. So on a couple of them, you do find hunter tags. Something that all of you have as hunters from the final rest. Something that anyone belonging to a hunter's guild would carry to signify between one another who they represent.
Are they names that we recognize?
There are no names to them. It's just a small badge with a target on it.
It's a guild pen.
Yeah, it's pretty much a guild pen.
Dorngal will take them and pocket them so that way the next time they're in town, he can hand them over to the Hunters Guild. And what he'll also do is, are there any of their bones left individually?
The bodies are still there.
He said, "Oh, they're zombified."
Yeah, the bodies that were in the sap had, like I said, the top layer of skin missing, as if the sap itself was slowly eating away at them.
All right, so then while everyone's having the short rest, what Dorngal, because he doesn't need a short rest, what he's going to do is he's going to, and if I have to wild shape to do it, I'll do it. But he's going to basically in the overturned earth from his tremor from earlier, he is going to basically just, I mean, it's going to be like a mass grave. But he's basically just gonna, put him in a grave,
okay,
and cover them up, and he's just gonna like mark it.
Alrighty, you can definitely do that. I'm not gonna have you roll anything. Dorngal probably has experience in the disposal of bodies, so
that's what he's doing for the next hour.
Okay. What's up?
I was really afraid you're gonna say he has experience in mass graves. I'm like, what?
Give me.
Yeah.
Like, oh, I haven't worked out that part of his backstory yet.
Whoa.
Is there anything else anybody else wants to do for this short rest?
Just regaling everyone with marvelous tales of adventure.
Particularly as I do need the rest.
anyone need healing or rather than using hit die?
No, I'm good.
Yes.
Yes. Okay. Do you need quite a bit of healing, or do you need a little bit of healing? How bad do you look?
You know, actually, I can do this. You can burn hit die on a short rest, can't you?
Yeah.
Yes, you can.
Yes.
But you can only recover half your hit die after a long rest.
Yeah,
And-
but it's one of those things.
If the fighters in the group, I know there are several of us.
Hi.
If you use your second wind before the short rest, you'll regain it at the end of the long rest or the short rest. So
Yeah.
it's
This is
basically a
true.
free use of it.
I mean,
Pretty much every fighter ability resets on a short rest,
yeah.
which is why I proposed it, knowing we have a lot of fighters.
Second wind is
I
D10
think it's action
plus
surge is
your
D10
yeah.
plus your level.
action surge refreshes on a short rest too.
I'll let you know
Okay.
how much healing I need after
Okay.
I do warrior bullshit.
I completely forgot that I had a class ability that I could have used, but that's okay.
You'll remember now.
I remember now because it's going to give me advantages on all attacks.
What feature?
It's called Fighting Spirit.
Oh yeah.
And then the hit die are. Is it the hit die plus con for the regain?
Yes.
Yeah, hit die plus con, 1 per actual level of whatever level you're using.
And then don't forget that with second when you add your fighter level to D10.
Yep.
Because I was forgetting to do that for a long time.
Honestly, I'm good.
Okay.
How dare you?
Save
lie
this.
there.
This is a save the spells moment.
There's also a save the fighter, you know? We want
Yeah.
the fighters to stay up so the spellcaster doesn't get hit.
Yeah, but
What's
burning
the fun in
second
that?
wind and hit die is
Better, yeah.
it saves spells and it's something that we get back.
And this is true.
I was just a little worried if it didn't bring you all the way, at least close enough up that you felt comfortable.
I'm 3 off of max. I'm fine.
Okay.
I'll get that when something dies with a hex on it.
Word.
Okay. So, as the hour goes by, everyone picks up their gear. Dorngal is finished creating his mass grave to somewhat sanctify the deaths of these unfortunate huntsmen that were caught in the release of the miasma. How are you going about the traveling for the remainder of the day?
I'll offer to continue leading.
Every time that question is asked, I start a countdown in my mind. And if nobody speaks up by the time I reach 0, Therian starts leading.
That's the time it takes Therian to process what's going on.
So what I need you to do is take that countdown, subtract 1, and that's when your mount says he'll lead.
the mountain just goes like, no, fam. I got this.
See, Reaver is fine because Reaver's back to like a ripe young age. He doesn't have like any of the negative effects anymore.
Yep.
Yeah.
Good for him. Good for him.
See, all the more reason to trust him.
All
I
right.
trust Reaver than I do Therian.
So, Rild, go
Yes,
ahead
sir.
and let's go ahead and do those checks.
So I believe last time I used perception.
Perception and survival have been used.
Okay, perception and survival have been used. I will try to
No,
use
I'm sorry.
nature.
I'm sorry. It was.
I think
It
wasn't
wasn't
I the only
perception.
one that
It
had
was.
led?
It was perception and stealth because you led everyone through that the portion of the miasma.
Okay. I thought there had only been one travel
No, there's been
section
two.
since morning.
There's
But
been.
oh well, I will use nature this time.
Okay.
Might as well pick up the percentile dice because those are going to roll no matter what. Okay, so that's a 19 for the nature roll,
Okay.
and that is a 61 for the percentile.
19 and a 61. Okay. Let's see, where are you? It's right now. You can get a D4 roll from you.
Oh no.
I don't like that.
It'll be fine.
I like it when you say
What'd you
that.
get?
Oh, sorry, you didn't hear me? 3.
3. Ah. So, you begin to try to stick to the path as much as possible. But there are areas where the ogres that were here before you have knocked down a couple trees and have created roadblocks and destroyed portions of the road that excuse me, that you've had to clamber over or climb under, and it's taking a bit more time to get through this area than you want. And you come to a spot where 3 paths lay ahead of you. One going off onto the left and another 2 that seem to stay about side by side to the right until the uppermost path winds back off towards the center into a set of heavy brush.
My friends, I wish to commune with nature, see if I can find out which path best, so that way we have least troubles. Yes.
Yeah,
I'll
I was
look
thinking the
back
same
at him
thing.
and nod.
So Dorngo like reaches into like his pack and he pulls out this like gem covered stick, and he's going to ritualistically cast augury.
I can bring up augury. Let's see. Oh, this is the one where you get the otherworldly omen.
Yep. Basically, like I'm gonna magic 8-ball which path to go down. It's pretty much what it is. You don't get a definitive answer. It's just like, it's
So as you kind of hold this gem inlaid stick out in front of you, just a feeling of woe starts to wash over you from all paths,
Oh, that's not
telling you that no matter which way you go, nothing good is waiting for you.
that is some
Which one's got the
tier
most
3
treasure?
bullshit.
The actual answer we didn't want right there.
Some tier 3 bullshit right there.
It
Alrighty.
wasn't the answer we wanted, but it was the
Yeah.
answer we deserved.
Yeah,
You're
It-
not
it-
wrong.
it makes you feel, Dorngal, that you're going to want to be on your guard, at least for the remainder of today,
Alright,
as
so-
danger is all around you.
All right.
I honestly don't think any of us were planning differently on that regard.
So Dongal, comes out of his, little mini trance, and he's like, "I have bad news, my friends. The spirits tell me no matter what path we take, something bad, more than likely going to happen. So I mean,
Left.
It's what's that? The game? Yeah, it's a crapshoot. Yes.
Sounds like a dirty game.
No, you rolled these little cubes with little numbers on them, and you need to do some weird stuff with getting the same number again. Very complicated. Has like big table, lots of markings. I don't recommend it.
Are we stopping to play a game of dice? I could go for a game of dice right about now.
No.
No, I was explaining the game. To
The
our
game
friend.
that we were about to play.
I think he was
no.
talking more about playing it when we make camp.
Oh, I
Gorgal
see,
definitely
I
wants to
see.
play when you make camp.
All right, so then since no one's making the decision, Dorngal is going to basically divining rod this, and I'm basically going to pick a path by like flipping my stick in the air and seeing which one it points at.
Okay.
The fates say maybe we try rightmost road. See what happens.
Now that we've picked a way to go, I can ask about what might happen along our path.
All you
Take me 10
divination
minutes.
people.
Mm-hmm. Do you wish for me to do that, or do we just want to carry on since we know it's going to be bad no matter what?
I don't know. I only talk to nature and see what Mother Earth says back to me. If you have more leeway with your god, then I'm more than happy to wait.
I mean, honestly, whichever or more information than we have is better. So
All right, so I can ritually cast divination.
All right, so you're
Yeah,
you're gonna take the 10 minutes.
Yep,
Okay.
and I'll ask Earl to keep an eye out
So now
as I do this.
We're running into 20 minutes on this one spot.
Yep.
Okay. So while Amelia is beginning to do her divination, are you guys just standing in the middle of the path, or are you going to try to give yourselves some cover just in case anything passes by?
there's no more
Oh.
lanterns, correct?
Cover.
No, there are lanterns. The lanterns are still up in this area. It was just that one area that you had to cross where the ogres had destroyed the lanterns.
Okay, so staying within the lantern effect zone, but if there's like some way to get cover within that zone, then cool. At least that's my thought.
Yeah, that would be what Amelia tried to set up in somewhere where she was at least covered by some foliage.
Okay, let's
If we're gonna stealth, we'll stealth.
let's go. Yeah, let's go ahead and do a group stealth check.
Yay, my favorite.
Clank, 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 clop, clop.
Does
clop,
the
clop.
Mask of the Wild come into effect on this one or not?
What does your Mask of the Wild grant you?
When I attempt to hide, I can, in only lightly obscured foliage and heavy rain, mist, falling snow,
No,
another
because
natural.
because you're not. It's not. You're making a hide check.
Yep.
You're just trying to give yourself a bit of cover.
Okay.
So you're not. So you're not as.
That's the same.
No, because with the hide, you're taking the hide action.
Okay.
Where am I posted? Somebody stole my post.
I'm more I'm more amazed by my stealth rolls with this character, considering I'm at disadvantage.
Yeah, considering you're a giant horse.
It's like stealth horse. Totally fine.
Ever since I got this Lathander armor, I've no longer had to roll at disadvantage, but my rolls have been worse than when I was rolling with disadvantage.
Sounds like
Because it's because you don't accept Lathander's greatness.
Yep. Or it just sounds like the curse
There's
of
nothing great about Lathander.
Hey, don't be knocking the sun, bro. Though, you know, followers of Lathander do kind of get screwed over, it seems. They just have a giant kick me
wonder
target
why.
on them. I don't know why.
Sure would be nice if their god would help them out, but
Right.
you know, he never does.
He's like, nah, you got this. I'm gonna be over here partying. So,
Can
Oh,
you
wait,
hear me
so
better
for a
now, Zoro? I tweaked my mixer a little bit.
so, let's go ahead and get those stealth checks. Arian.
Reaver got a 16, and Therian rolled a 1 for a total of 3.
Okay. Christiana.
At disadvantage, 16.
Okay. Thorngol, what'd you get?
Durangol got a 19 and Rutgar got a 15.
Rilled? 95.
28.
Aaron
14.
and Amelia.
16.
Okay. Y'all did decent, save for a certain dwarf.
You doing one of those hides where instead of getting behind the tree, he's like got his face behind the tree and the rest of the body's out?
No, he's kind of sitting against the tree with his hands over his eyes, thinking, you know, you can't see. If I can't see you, you can't see me.
Getting like Chopper from One Piece.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yes. Yes.
All right. So go ahead and take your 10-minute ritual cast here.
Yep.
While she's casting, is anybody keeping a watch?
Hell yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm looking. Rutgar and I are both looking out for anything that's coming, especially from the northern part of the path, because that's where the bad place is.
I mean, I can't blame you.
Is there such a thing as a not bad place in this particular place?
I mean, you know, I guess it just depends on what direction you're facing.
I'm pretty sure it's all bad. Every direction.
Oh yeah, absolutely. It's a dark forest area of dead.
Okay. So those of you who are taking the watch, you can go ahead and give me perception rolls here.
Okay. Yeah.
And then not Dorngal, but Therian. Since you rolled that wonderful one, I'm going to allow you to choose the form of the destroyer here. Can you give me a D3?
That doesn't sound like a thing I want to do.
Form of your destroyer.
Wait, destroyer of one of the paths we go through, or right now?
I'm presuming right.
Yes.
You never know.
Destroyer of us
Sure.
is the correct answer.
I don't like this answer. Can I do a do-over?
now.
I mean, have you not seen Xerx's rolls on Mondays?
No, I don't
Yeah.
pay attention.
Xerx
Oh.
is not allowed to roll.
I'm not allowed to roll anything.
I mean, no offense to Xerx, but he's the reason why we had to go several sleepless nights. Or poor sleep nights.
And how does that
So
make
what'd you get, Therian?
3.
3. Ooh.
Not the magic number we wanted.
the one we needed?
The one we
Hey.
deserved.
Yes.
So go ahead. You're able to do your communication.
Okay. So the
Do you want
question,
the perception rolls?
Yeah, sure.
the
26.
question. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
26. So what's your question?
What are we going to run into on the rightmost path as we travel it?
Winged death.
Okay.
That's hot. Keep going.
So I will come out of my trance-like state, I guess, and tell the group that there's a winged monster down this way. The exact words the god gave me was winged death. What? There's a lot of death in this forest, though.
Well, at least we know how to prepare for it.
If it's flying, I can handle that.
Yeah, I don't have anything that helps with flying, but I have plenty of ranged items.
Don't do well with wings.
Do we wish to choose another path then?
I mean, it doesn't matter which path we choose. All path has death at end.
Yep. At least this one we know what's possibly coming.
While they're talking about choosing another path, Therian is going to walk out to the spot where all the paths diverge, and slamming the head of Orekeeper down on the ground, he is going to detect the presence of precious metals or stones within 60 feet of him, if any such things exist.
You do get a ping of solid gold 60 feet down the right path.
He's going to point down that path and declare, "We go this way," and then just start marching down that path.
I
Decision's
trip
made,
him.
I guess.
Wait, which path is he pointing towards?
He's
The
taking
right path.
I trip him.
The rightmost path?
He's not near you.
He's
He's
taking the path we were discussing anyway.
Well, there are
Yes.
two right paths, and he's headed
Yeah.
down. He's headed down the right path right now, until it gets to about to diverge, and he continues on the rightmost path.
All right. We know it's that way anyway. Uh,
Gonna let him die. I'm gonna let that dwarf die.
Therian, why do you want to go down that path?
But because there's gold, of course.
And what
yeah.
makes you
There,
think we have time for that?
there enough
There's always time for gold.
No,
information.
I think the saying you are looking for is there's always room for Jello.
Don't think I'm familiar with that one.
It is something one of the barmaids told me back at the town.
Is the gold and the winged death information enough for me to defer what I think may be down there?
Give me a straight up wisdom roll.
Wisdom, I think my wisdom's +5, so that's a 15.
Given of what you've seen and the knowledge that you have, you're assuming that winged death and gold possibly could be some form of dragon.
I believe that we're going to find a dragon that way. You sure you want to go that way, Therian?
Dragons. We don't have time to be fighting dragons. Dragons.
Wait.
But if there is a dragon, then it must be slain. We must go that much quicker.
You do remember what we're actually here for, right?
Yes, we have.
No, I've just kind of been following all of you.
We need to stop the undead apocalypse. We have to find the
Right,
orb
yes.
for the lich,
Yes, of
and
course.
we have to turn it off so that way the witch lady she no get it and becomes more powerful.
Well, then we mustn't stand around talking. We must start advancing. And he once again continues down the path.
Okay.
Regard just like Dorgo just turns back to the party and just shrugs. He's like, I don't know what to do to stop him. Aside from knocking him the fuck out.
Amelia's not opposed to this idea.
Reaver, stop him.
I mean, he's a dwarf. Pretty hard to knock those guys out.
know.
Reaver's already like annoyingly walking at a quickened pace just to catch up to him.
I guess we are heading down this path then. All right.
The moment I have the option between life and death in my hands of this dwarf, I am going to kill him. I
Wait,
don't
you don't want to fight
care.
a dragon?
If I see the dragon, I'm like, please kill him. For the love of God, please kill him.
I'm gonna look over at my brother and be like, I guess we're going to encounter a dragon today.
Uh,
Her and start walking after the rest of the group.
you just hear Baron grumble while going.
Okay, give me one. So, Therian, you walk down this path for what feels like a good hour before you come to any sort of opening. It's just been this tight, narrow path weaving through the trees. The every now and then it almost feels like your shoulders are brushing up against the lanterns on either side of the road. But it finally opens up a little bit more, and you can see a very defined dirt path kind of winding its way through the brush. And as you stop to look around, you know, even with the thought of gold, still keeping your warrior wits about you, the group or your companions catch up to you. Give me a moment because I need to get your tokens. Yay.
Yep.
I mean, it's okay. We don't need to have a fight. It's all good.
Who said
We're gonna
anything?
talk our way out of this one. It's fine.
Who said anything about a fight?
Oh, you know, grabbing tokens, putting things on
Tokens,
maps.
wing death, piles of gold.
It might just be a massacre. There goes party. Bye.
Or it could be a masochist.
So, what I need
Like all of us.
is I'm taking you guys to a map.
Okay.
Dorngall,
Nice map.
Dorngall. That's where I put you on the, not Dorngall, but Therian, where I put you on the map. That's where you've stopped. Reaver's going to be behind you because, of course, everyone else go ahead and move yourselves into some sort of marching order behind them.
Grab
them.
Rutgar, but not Dorngal.
Oh, my bad. Give me a moment. I knew I was forgetting one bear. Where did I put him?
Yes, there are now bears. Now there are bears. Is he under one of the other tokens that are bigger than he is?
Oh, maybe. I could have sworn I just pulled him off to the side. Oh well. Give me a moment. I could just grab him from the token pile. Because I've done that
Numerous times.
numerous times.
Every DM has just one map where it's like
Here are the PCs.
stuff.
Yep.
And then a druid has their entire own corner, which he shapeshift forms.
And then and then I go to that character pile, that character sheet sometimes, like, who the hell's drawing, you know, monsters on here? Why are there 37 Stussies?
Yes. Question is, why didn't you already fill your map with 37 Stussies?
I mean that is. I'm sorry, but when I have a wizard and I mark explosive runes, it's always a Stussy.
Love it.
Honk.
No, that game hasn't restarted yet.
Yet. So, Arian, after taking in your surroundings and not really seeing anything of danger as the area has opened up, that call of gold keeps seeming to travel farther and farther away from you, always keeping that 60-foot distance. Almost as if it's like a carrot on a stick, just trying to pull you more and more into the forest.
I mean, it doesn't have to try very hard. Therian is absolutely following that sense of the gold. Hopefully, it keeps him on the dirt path, but if not, I mean, it's gold.
And this is how Therian got his way of leading again.
So, since everyone is on the map here, go ahead and move.
So I will be trying to move cautiously, but I will continue to do so amongst the brush.
And I'm trying to keep an eye out and seeing everything at once.
Okay. Therian. Give me one moment. I need stop your movement. I need to check something. All right, Therian, when you get there, can I get a dexterity check from you?
Sure can. That is going to be an 11.
Okay. So, Farron, Reaver, as you're walking along, you see Therian just walking on the path and kind of springing his step, you know, thoughts of gold filling his head. And then you notice the floor underneath him give way.
So, oh,
Ah, Punji Pit, my
As-
old nemesis.
Therian, you fall down into a pit full of like these small stone spines. And when you hit, you're going to take 12 points of fall damage and then another 11 piercing damage.
oh no, he fell.
And I'm going to need a constitution save versus poison.
Constitution save versus poison.
Don't dwarves have something that helps with that?
I think they have an advantage
They sure
against
do.
Yeah,
checks for poison.
Dwarven resilience.
Yep,
gives
that's
me advantage.
why I mentioned it's versus poison.
And
Sweet.
Therian is good at con saves. No, Therian is very good at
Is
con
he?
saves. That is a 24.
24. Okay, Therian, you hit these spines as you come down, and as you're pulling yourself up off of them, you notice that for a brief moment, the wounds feel a bit stiff before your body's natural defenses fight it off.
You'll have to try harder than that, Jungle. I've had many types of poisons coursing through these veins.
And those of you who are behind would definitely see him fall in. And Dorngal, you get that sense in your mind again of the warning that Big Brain gave you, that the forest paths are trapped.
So he's gonna just because I'm pretty sure it's gonna take a bit for to get Dorngal. I'm sorry, to get Therian. I'm doing it.
It's only a matter of time.
Out of the pit trap. He's gonna relay that to the party, saying, "My friends, I think we might be getting close to the ogre camp. The Big Brain. He said that the path had lots of traps."
If we're getting
Are you
close to the
still hearing those drums?
No, the drums have been silent for a good portion of the day.
Okay.
I think if we're getting near that camp, I'm going to try to remain unseen since I'm the one they're looking for. That way, if we accidentally stumble across one of them, it's not an immediate fight.
Okay.
But if we do come near the camp, maybe we should rest before we engage with anyone from it.
I'm going to
But yes,
suggest to the group that maybe I should take the lead on the path to take some time and try to find the traps. They're willing to spend a little extra time traveling a little slower so that we can hopefully be safer.
Is this not your specialty? I think you said before, right?
I should be able to find traps.
Yeah. Then if you have good luck with finding the traps, then yeah, I am all for you going first. We have your back.
Suppose that would be all right. I'll stay very close behind you and point out the direction of the gold.
We're not looking for the gold, my friend. We're trying to avoid the ogre camp.
The what?
Arian, if you want gold, you can come back after this miasma is taken care of.
Well, yes, of course, but if they both goals happen to be in the same location or on the same path, then why not do both at once?
while they're
Real
getting
can't argue that logic, actually. So,
Therian, as you're down there, can I get a perception roll from you?
You sure can. Where's my perception? Oh, -1. Okay. That makes
While
sense.
they're getting in position, Amelia's going to go into the foliage that lines the sides of these paths and tries to stealth as we go.
Agni Ammon Atu, thank you for the follow. Thank you for the raid. But all my words here. 16. So as you're down there and you're talking and thinking about the gold, you notice that there begins to be various runes that begin to glow around the walls of the pit. As you begin to suddenly feel a bit heavier down here.
would I not see that happening too with my passive perception?
Not where you're standing.
Well, I'm talking to them right now.
Okay, but knowing this group, I just expect if you guys are on the map and your distance, you're just yelling at one another, especially if it's with Therian.
Oh, I would not be yelling in this. Yes, let's draw everything towards us right now.
But yeah, if you're up at the edge of the pit, you would with your passive perception, you would definitely see it beginning to form.
Foliage over here.
Did Reaver fall in too?
No, Reaver didn't. Reaver stopped right before falling in with Therian.
I would look at Reaver and say, Reaver, help me, and reach my arm down as far as possible. I don't know how far down the pit trap
It's a
is,
10-foot pit.
Do you want to use
Okay.
my glaive to give him a hand up? It's 10 feet
But
long.
I'm
We've got
not-
foot reach.
I'm thinking there's not time to like pull out a rope or go, oh
No.
yeah, sure, I'll use that. I'm just trying to get him out now.
Reaver, sensing what you're doing, nods and he bites the back of your bites the back of your clothing just to hold you in place as you reach out to help Therian.
Assuming I can reach, I will hop up to grab
Okay.
the hand being lowered down to me.
All right. Rild, since you are being assisted by the warg, you can go ahead and give me a strength modifier with advantage, or a strength roll with advantage.
Really great because it's a -1. I will use my inspiration for this, by the way.
Well, you already have advantage, so you wouldn't need to use it.
Oh, that's right. Inspiration just gives
Yeah.
advantage. It doesn't.
Yep.
Okay.
Super advantage.
I'm used to inspiration just being a additional die.
Yeah, just the bonus die roll.
Okay, so 16, hopefully enough.
You begin to try to pull him up and everything, and as you do, you see the runes kind of begin to glow with a bit more intensity as your grip begins to slip from Dorngal's hand. Not Dorngal, Therian. I keep confusing you. Therian's hand.
Trying to
Therian,
get more people to help.
you have I'm going to give you the option of, you know, letting go and dropping down safely, or trying to maintain a grip with the possibility of falling back onto the spikes.
I'll try and maintain the grip.
All right. Since you're down in the pit, can you give me a strength roll with disadvantage?
I sure can. It's a 5 and a 3, so at disadvantage, that's an 8 total.
All right, so your hand slips from Rilds as you fall back down and you hit the spikes again. You're going to take another 12 points of piercing damage. And can I get another Constitution saving throw from you? Secretly enjoying
It's
this.
the fucking Chult campaign all over again.
Where's
Oh,
the
no,
ranks?
Oh,
Constitution, that is a 23.
A 23. Okay, same thing again. You pull yourself off of those spikes and you feel a bit tight for a moment, but nothing else seems to be taking hold of you.
Real, would you like some help? And I'll walk over and I'm gonna pull my glaive off to offer it down so he can grab the glaive and pull himself up, and I can help pull. You got a bit more strength.
Real just thinking he's not the one that should be.
No, he's
the
not.
connection point.
And I would like to cast guidance on myself as I try to help pull him out.
Okay. So you can definitely make a strength roll here.
Okay.
And again, as soon as like Therian grabs on and begins to like be lifted up, the runes on the wall of this pit begin to glow with another intensity.
Just a straight strength.
Yeah, just a straight strength.
I'm gonna go ahead and use my lucky foot.
Okay, you're gonna
roll my
use.
die.
Okay,
My one luck for the day.
you have that lucky rabbit's foot. You can definitely use luck.
That was good. I did, because that is a natural 20 plus a 3 plus another 3, so 26.
26. You pull and you pull and you pull and you barely are able to get him out of that pit. The runes fighting you the entire time you're doing this, but you muster enough strength to be able to get him out.
Thank God I used that luck.
Very much appreciated. Thank you.
Our rangers and our druids in the group, can you go ahead and give me a nature roll?
Yes.
Glad we managed to get you out of there.
You know, I suppose it would have probably been easiest to just have Orekeeper here mold the earth and make a ramp that I could walk up. But I do appreciate the effort. It is quite.
Did
quite
he
an
literally
inspiration to?
Did he literally forget he could shape the earth with Orekeeper?
It's not that he forgot. It's just that his friends were trying so hard.
Next time that would have been handy to know. I'll keep that in mind next time we fall in a pit.
So what are those nature rolls? You are muted.
Rolled a 6.
25.
A 6 and a 25.
Yeah.
All right, so Rild, as Varian passes you, there is a familiar scent sort of coming from the wounds on his body. Even though his body is fighting off the poison, it is technically still there. And you instantly catch the scent of basilisk poison coming from these wounds.
Uh-huh. Okay. I will relay that to the group.
Let's stay out of the pits then.
No, my friend, it's we need to treat him, or else he's going to be, very nice statue of Therian. And then Dorngol will cast Lesser Restoration.
Okay. And any remnants of whatever poison was in your body, even though it was being fought off, is gone.
And very, very much appreciated. All the effort that you are all putting into keeping me safe and sound.
Alright, so now maybe you not rush off ahead so fast, looking for the shiny things. Yes.
Yes, I suppose that would be the wise move. Our good, what are you, some sort of rogue or ranger there? Rild, perhaps you should take the lead, and I will point out the gold to you when we approach it.
Again, not the slightest bit worried about the gold.
As you mention the gold, you now begin to sense not only gold, but ruby.
Oh, God.
I swear, if I find this treasure before him, I'm taking it from him. I'm never telling him.
This payday just got a whole lot bigger. What say we head that way? And I'm going to point in the direction that I sensed it.
Okay.
You realize for it to matter, we have to be able to get out of here.
I'm sure it won't be a problem.
Can I help him find wherever the hell this is? Somehow?
How would you like to go about that?
Perception?
There's nothing in the area that gives off any sort of signal or scent or anything that shows that would reveal any sort of precious metal, let alone gold or ruby.
I'm so confused now. Okay, so would this be like, how do I go about this? Some kind of a trap? Can I do like some kind of a arcana? Maybe he's being confused.
Yeah, go ahead and give me an arcana roll.
Okay. What's my arcana? And decent.
While they're standing around talking and looking at things,
18?
trying to figure this.
It doesn't really seem like he's under any sort of charm effect or anything. You did see him like use his used the warhammer that he's got, and it gave off us like a sort of a shimmer. And then he said that Orekeeper detected that there's gold ahead, and that's why he began to go down the path.
Okay.
But he's not being charmed or controlled by anything. He's just same old Therian.
All right. Well, wherever he's going, I'm just going to like just keep looking for whatever the heck
Hyper-focus?
he's looking for. Yeah, just
Okay.
hyper focus.
All right.
And I would like to try to stealth along with the group.
Okay.
Which I see him.
How are you getting across the stone path, or the stone, or not the stone, but the hole in the ground here?
Easy. Go around it.
The bushes.
Okay.
Like before, like I was discussing before the runes go off, I'm going to try to look for traps where we're stepping before we step there.
Okay, so with Rild, can you give me an investigation roll?
This isn't perception?
No, because you are specifically investigating the area for the traps.
I'm trying to perceive the traps. No, not working for you?
No. Nice try though.
Is Therian taking a potion or something for his wounds, or what's he doing?
No, he still looks relatively okay.
I think I
He's
didn't
taking
take
a lot of damage, but he has a lot of hit points as well.
I mean, well, does from without having to make a skill check, does he look like he's severely wounded?
I mean, he's got
I would
holes
say
in his
so.
body.
Well, yeah, but I mean, he fell in a spike trap. I mean, it's like, Dorngirl has the, suck it up buttercup mentality when it comes to healing. If you don't look like you're dying and you don't tell me you need healing, you're not getting healed.
Rild, what'd you get?
He hasn't
15.
lost the pep in his step.
right.
As you look around, you notice that if you were to, if anyone who would try to go along the side of the pit, off to the right where those bushes are at, there's a swinging log trap that looks like it's designed to hit somebody and knock them into the pit if they were to try to go that way.
Oh fuck.
Okay. I'll look to the other side and see if there's anything over there. Or, well, I mean, I'm not expecting a new roll.
The
But
other side, you see multiple tripwires kind of like tied up between various like bush roots.
Okay. So I'm going to point out each and every single tripwire that I see,
Okay.
and try to make sure everybody avoids them, or at
Wouldn't
least
it-
steps over them.
Wouldn't it be easy to throw a rock on the trip line for the swinging log, let it go past, and then we can run by?
Thinking that maybe by triggering the traps, we might alert them.
We've already triggered one of them in this area. They already know someone's here, if they were alerted.
I mean, you have a point, but it could have also just been like a deer or something.
Fair enough.
Um,
I'm
So,
more
yeah.
weight on the side that we're on of all the traps, and as everyone passes by, I'm more start with Therian and let him go by, and I'm more cast guidance on him.
Are we doing a guidance conga line here?
Yes, we are.
Okay.
I'm going to guidance everyone as they go past.
Okay. Guidance conga line. We can do this.
I'm
So-
going to spam that guidance.
All right. So let's start off with Therian. Which way are you going to be going? Are you going to be going through the bushes, or are you going to go through the spike log side?
I am going to let the one that detected the traps tell me which path I should take.
Is the tripwires to the other side, is it like a spider web of them, like where it would be really hard to walk?
Yeah, like
over around
like
them.
anybody trying to get through there is going to have to watch their step and like step between them very carefully. It's like you're navigating a minefield in there.
Okay, and if we move further out to the sides, is there still?
Yeah, like the entire bush section off to the left is just spider webbed with those tripwires.
Okay, I'm going to investigate one closer, and I want to see if cutting it would in fact set it off, or if it has to be pulled in order to set it off.
Okay. Go ahead and give me a intelligence roll on this.
Oh, jeez.
Actually,
13.
make it a survival roll because it definitely
you.
is survival. I'm like, wait, traps. Yeah, you're surviving.
Wait, so yeah, I rolled a 13 before, so it's a dirty 20.
A dirty 20. You could see that whoever had a hand in wiring these up knew exactly what they were doing. You trigger one, they're all going to trigger.
Right, but does cutting the triple line also set it off?
You with that sense have a feeling that if you were to cut carefully enough to where you would only sever the line and not disturb anything else, you would be able to disable it. But the slightest mistake is going to set off whatever those tripwires are tied to.
Okay, so I've got Tinger's tools, and I would like to think that shears or a scissor-like tool would be part of that.
For these, for like any sort of trap disabling, you need thieves' tools.
Well, damn. Okay, and the log is just like a single trip line?
It's
or
just
is there a spider web over there?
no,
too?
it looks like the way that it's set up is almost as if there's some sort of pressure mechanism that's been hidden under a bunch of leaves.
Okay.
And like
So-
you can see part of it kind of like sticking out from it, from like
Okay.
the pile of leaves itself, almost as if whoever was creating these was almost taunting somebody to take the path.
Mhm. So I'm gonna have everybody step really far back, like all the way back to the edge of the map,
Okay.
back where we came from. And I assume there's like plenty of branches or rocks or something along those lines that I can just pick up.
Oh yeah, there's like foliage and sticks and rocks all over the place. It's the jungle.
So I'm gonna pick up something with some decent heft,
Okay.
but
Oh no, I have a better idea. You tell me where you see the trap.
okay. Point it out.
So where is the trap being pointed out on this side, Rojan?
On which side?
The left side.
Let me bring up the map again so everyone sees this. The entirety of this bush area is spider webbed with those tripwires.
Alrighty. So
I'm-
Dorngo's gonna say, everyone, you might want to step back away from this. This is gonna get a little bit messy. Right, and then Dorngal.
I was gonna trigger the log trap.
Well, I mean, this one might be a little bit easier for us. Take less time. And Dorngal's gonna cast Mold Earth.
Okay.
And he's literally going to churn the earth like in wherever the highest concentration of traps that were pointed out to him, in that 5-foot square and just basically make the earth just literally just churn in a circle because I can make the earth move.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
I'm figuring it's like it's pinned into the ground or something, so he's just gonna just.
You begin to churn the earth. There's a bit of a hiss that begins to come out of the earth itself as it's being churned. And then you see multiple plumes of smoke begin to come out of it as well, as the smoke turns different colors.
I'm going to hide.
Do I have enough time to back away further from that?
Yeah.
All right. And it's like, get away from that nonsense.
The hell just happened?
Does the cloud of like colorful gas just hang there?
It begins to gather, and it just begins to become this thick plume that begins to just climb higher and higher up into the sky.
Pretty sure that's a smoke signal.
We need to hide.
Yeah,
I think that one is not so much trap to stop, but trap to warn. We might want to maybe
Again,
hide, see
I
if
was
something
going for the log trap.
yeah. Amelia is hiding. At the very least, if they can't find her, the group might be able to get by.
So I'm gonna do what I was going to do in the first place and try to throw something to trigger the log trap so
Alright.
that goes off too.
So you throw it, and sure enough, that rock hits it, and it was just hairpin trigger as the log swings forward, and as it clears over the opening of the log, it explodes, sending a shower of metal shards down into the pit as well.
Ugh.
Jesus Christ!
What kind of people are these? Holy shit!
They want whatever's in the pit dead.
This is like some like Home Alone 6 type shit, dude. What the fuck?
Yeah, does that look like it might be trying to signal like all that
No,
smoke?
this looked like it was meant to hurt.
No, the smoke.
Yeah, you assume that this is just a giant smoke signal just saying, hey, somebody just, set off your traps. Like, you begin to get the idea that this, like, the spike trap and the log trap were meant for maybe 1 or 2 people, and then everyone else would learn their lesson and try to go through the brush, which would then trigger off the smoke signals to warn whoever set this up.
Yeah, I'm gonna start moving this direction. Also, I'm still wanting to watch out for stuff.
Okay.
But basically, I want to start, kind of going up this way.
Yep.
Like really go roundabout.
What about the rest of you? Are you gonna try to to hide anywhere?
I'm trying to signal them to follow me, but they don't want to.
If they don't want to.
I'm more following them.
I'll follow.
I'll follow.
The log trap, was it one and done, or
It's-
is
oh,
it
yeah,
like
no,
resetting itself?
The log exploded. When the log exploded, it was obliterated. Like, all there is left is like the sheared rope on opposite sides that once held the log in place.
Gotcha.
Amelia will follow, but she's still going to attempt to stealth.
Okay.
Yes, I would like to as well.
So it takes a moment. Well, it takes a couple moments, but you begin to hear heavy padded footsteps coming down the pathway. I can find the gentleman. In Dorngal, you see a very familiar face coming around as Big Brain is standing there. But this time he isn't flanked by the other two ogres that were with him. But you see a strange dragonoid-like creature on his shoulder as he gets the rock and it hops down and it begins to skip over to the pit, a look of joy in its face as it begins to clap, and it looks down, and then it lets out a very agitated shriek as this kobold looks down into the pit, expecting to see mangled bodies on its masterwork completion, and yet there's nothing.
So Big Brain, he knows, is like friendly. This kobold, he doesn't want to risk letting the kobold. He doesn't want to risk letting the kobold know that he made friends with Big Brain, because that might out Big Brain, and that's our in to hopefully get past the camp as we get closer. So he doesn't want to do. So Dorngal doesn't want to do anything specifically that's going to get Big Brain in trouble, because he doesn't know if this kobold's a snitch or not.
And the kobold looks around and he looks up at Big Brain. He looks over at the plume of smoke. I don't get it. There should be mangled corpses. There should be colorful people. Yet there's nothing. Oh, this agitates me. Agitates me very much. Brain, send out a scouting party. Whatever set this off is smarter than we assumed. I want at least 10 of you. And I want them caught before the morning, or the boss will hear of this. Big Brain kind of nods like, yes, Foreman, yes. We will find them, whoever they are. I swear to the boss.
I just want to point out, I think it's great that the kobold is calling the shots.
Mm-hmm.
Well, do you honestly expect something of that twisted nature not to be a kobold trap?
This is true. This.
Dorngal is just hiding until they leave.
The kobold stands there for a bit more, kind of a look of sadness in his eyes. Totally tell that he spent some time on this trap and it didn't pay off. I'm going back to camp. You know what to do. He kind of pulls on a rope on his shoulder, and a little gyrocopter kind of like comes out of a backpack as he begins to fly off.
That is awesome.
Gadget?
Yeah,
Love it.
Totally Inspector Gadget.
Can Snit have one?
Gadget
please?
helicopter.
I mean, if Snit can find the blueprints for it, totally can get a gyrocopter. What the hell, yo?
I mean,
Just
And he just vanishes.
Dorngal like looks at this kobold flying off and like his like little gyrocopter, and Dorngal's like, what kind of weirdness is that? That is not natural. Kobolds are not supposed to be able to fly that way. They have wings, some of them.
Some of them.
Yeah, it's obviously one of them. There are machines people keep talking about.
And
Love it.
he Big Brain kind of watches the kobold foreman fly off, and he looks around.
All right, so
Magic Bear, is that you?
yes, he read my mind. so Dorngal steps out, and he's like, he like peeks behind the bush, and he's like,
And he kind of looks around, and you see the that his brain that's like pressed against the flesh kind of like pulsate for a moment as he misty steps over to you.
oh geez, he's got like spells now. Holy crap!
Well, when he did it
He
before,
did that last night
yeah,
too.
he did.
That's right. Yeah, I
yeah.
forgot he did Misty Step.
He has spell-like and psychic abilities.
Oh,
He's not very smart, but he can hurt you with his brain.
Oh, he could do some damage with his brain.
He's like, oh yeah, my friend, I was waiting for the little dragon thing to fly away. I didn't want to get you in trouble.
Oh, it is good that you waited till the foreman went away. He's not a nice lizard.
Really quickly, seeing that this is happening, I want to get I'm sorry, Raven, what's your character's name again?
Christiana.
Thank you. You did that.
Christiana. I want to like point at my sister and like try to get Christiana to kneel down so that she can get on Christiana's back, and then I don't know, cover her with some like cloak or something.
Hide the
Make it
chosen
look
one.
like a pack.
If it's like glare from Amelia, but she'll comply. I'm sure they've done worse to get into places.
I'm just envisioning all sorts of Hanna-Barbera shenanigans right now.
Does
I
that
mean,
make
we can
Reaver
try to
Scooby-Doo?
hide her.
But does that make Reaver what?
Scooby-Doo.
I mean, I don't know. We haven't tried to feed it like a 2-foot tall sandwich yet.
Yeah,
So
you haven't tried. You haven't tried to bribe him with a Reaver snack yet.
I mean, if Reaver's Scooby-Doo, it makes sense because Therian, he's about as dense as Shaggy. So
Yeah.
Old man Shaggy.
and Shaggy.
But where are your friends? You said you were traveling with friends who treat you like pet.
Oh no, there's a guide for them. They're hiding in the bush over there.
And he kind of like looks over.
Trying to find a safe way north.
Doesn't
when,
see anything, but kind of waves at where everyone is hiding in the bushes and just looks back to Dorngal.
We noticed the traps, and we tried to maybe safely disarm to get by, but the traps they're very finicky, and they go off. So we hide to make sure no one comes to find us. But I knew Chance, you come because you said your camp is near the traps. So I was hoping you could tell me how we get past without setting off more traps.
Go back. Go back the way you came. Go down the left path. I will lead the 10 in my search party through this area and through the other right path. That should be good enough.
Are there more traps on the left path?
No, there are only traps on this path.
Thank you much. He's like, you very good friend. Don't go appreciate the kindness you have for me. Yes.
Just be aware, be careful that he does not find you.
The little dragon guy.
No. He won't go out without one of us to protect him. He's smart, but he's frail. No, the emperor that wanders these jungles.
Is he alive like us, or is he dead like the skeletons and the zombies?
Last we saw him, he was alive. I hope he does not become the zombies, because that would just make him more. Yes.
So we look out for a frail person who has some sort of magic power. That sounds easy to find. Yes.
Oh, no, the emperor is not frail. The foreman is frail. The kobold is frail.
So what this emperor man look like?
Giant tree with wings.
Flying tree. Does that ring a bell at all to Dorgal?
Give me a moment.
Because when he said flying tree, and he started thinking maybe a treant, but he's never heard of a treant that has wings and can fly.
Yeah, I was starting to get hopeful that the winged death was the kobold, but I don't think so.
Yeah, I don't think the winged death's the kobold anymore either.
As
Yeah.
much as we want it to be, it's not going to be.
I mean, he's got wings and he traps with really nasty traps. So
Flying death. There we go.
Yeah, flying
death,
Yeah.
winged death.
Go ahead and give me.
Oh, I guess he doesn't have wings, though, does he? You have to use the gyrocopter.
Yeah, go ahead and give me a nature roll here.
Okay. Ooh, that's gonna be good. I have a good nature. Let's see. That is gonna be 21.
21. You can't really put your finger on it.
Oh God, jeez.
You know, there have been certain winged forest creatures that have given themselves royal titles in the past, or in different areas, most of them of the Fae. But you can't really pinpoint to one or another that would, in this area, that would refer to themselves as an emperor.
Gotcha. Alrighty. Well, Dorngo's gonna thank Big Brain again, and he's like, "All right, so we know we need to look out for a giant tree that has the wings. That is very easy to spot. I don't think something like that can sneak up on us. So thank you much, my friend. I appreciate it."
Famous last words.
I know, right?
But you best be off. I need to get back to the camp and start looking for you.
All right. If you need to maybe say you found some bodies, and Dorngo's gonna like give him directions to where he buried the hunters.
Oh, those wait, the jelly men.
Yes, I don't know if you could use the bodies because
They-
they're zombies.
Those were made by the boss. They would recognize them.
Oh, your boss makes the jelly things.
The jelly things, the giant monstrosity of my fallen brothers, yes. She's not a kind individual.
Right, well, you be careful, my friend. I don't want anything bad happen to you.
You too. Tonight, camp without fire. It is not safe.
Oh, thank you for warning. Right, I let you go so that way little flying dragon man doesn't get suspicious.
And he nods, and Misty steps back across the path and runs off.
I absolutely love that you made friends with an enemy ogre.
Me too. I'm hoping we don't ever have to do any combat.
I know. I don't want to fight him. I really don't want to fight him.
I don't want to fight him.
I don't want to fight
I
him.
really
want him
don't
to be
need
our
it.
friend.
Brain.
He needs to be our friend forever.
Okay.
Well, your friend forever. He's not
It's
friends
like-
with me.
Like I want to try and kill the hag where Big Brain isn't around to free him, and then just like, dude, we gotta like,
Do
we
buddy
gotta-
adventures with Big Brain.
oh, just like at
Hell
least get him to be a hunter, dude. It's like, oh, it's like, dude,
Please tell me you based him off of Pinky in the Brain. Please tell me you did.
No, it was just because he has a big brain that his name is Big Brain.
The other one is just so genius with his inventions. I'm like, is it Pinky? Please tell me it's Pinky.
I mean, we all know that Pinky's the real genius between the two.
Of course.
Sweet.
But
So Dorgo's like, well, my friends, you hurt. We need to go back and take the left path because there's no traps, and we don't get searched by the search group looking for us because we set off the traps.
Do I remember correctly that in the conversation where Dorngal came, Big Brain's friend, that they had hinted at knowing what Amelia looks like?
Yes, they did.
Yep.
Okay.
They know exactly who Amelia is.
Because
Okay.
she used the coin. It's like, they're
I
like,
didn't use
oh,
the
No,
coin,
no,
No,
had nothing
I
to do with
used
the coin.
but they know who I am. I don't know how,
Because-
but they know who I am.
They know who you are because you killed the frog hemoth.
There we go.
oh,
I had a feeling
I
it was that.
figured that might be it. So, is there mud on the ground?
Oh yeah, yeah.
Okay. I'm going to check it real quick and make sure there's nothing like super obviously bad about it, but I basically want to like use mud to change Mia's hair color. I know it's not like dye, but like putting mud in her hair to change the hair color and maybe like
Amelia, do you allow this?
He does, only because it's World.
All right,
If there's
Rild,
anyone else, she might have a problem.
Rild, give me a deception roll.
oh
Does it help him if I start wiping off the face makeup?
No, this is just based off of because he's
Okay.
trying to change your hair to a different color. So this is just to see how well that he does.
Okay.
Can I argue that I don't think this should be a charisma based roll?
when Dorngal sees him doing that, like it looks like he's obviously trying to disguise Amelia, specifically her hair, because he's concentrating the mud there.
Mm-hmm.
Can I possibly make either a nature or survival check to see if there's any orchid type plants in the area that I can use for a natural dye that'll actually work better?
Hey, at least she's blonde, so she'll take the dye really easily.
You can go ahead and you could go ahead and give me a natural. You've been in these jungles before, so you can go ahead and give me a nature roll to see if there's any sort of plant you can use as a dye.
Let's see, that's gonna be a 17.
A 17. Yeah, there are some local plants that you can use to create some sort of natural hair dye that would remain in there until she washed it out.
Alrighty, so then while Rild's doing that, Dorngal's gonna like gather up a bunch and just like make like a like a slurry of this stuff, and he's gonna hand like this over to Amelia, and he goes, I think I know what your brother is trying to do, my friend. I think this work better. It at least lasts in your hair until you wash it out.
Okay, I'm more pass it back to World because I can't really apply it to my own hair. And make sure it gets covered all the way.
It's gonna take some time to actually apply this dye, so Like you could do it here, but it may be something that you would want to do in
if it's,
camp.
if it's gonna take a while,
it's gonna take a while.
We're gonna want to head back.
It's gonna
Yeah.
it's going to take a while to be able to make it into some sort of like palpable dye before you can even apply it.
Okay. Well,
In
the
the
mud will work
meantime,
this day.
I can assist. Rild, pick a color.
Pick a color.
Yes,
Black.
color.
Just
One person
very,
per
very
place would be
quizzical.
black.
Perhaps something a little more vibrant. Any color you want.
Vibrant. Purple.
Purple it is. I'm going to
Just
point.
confused.
Oh God, are you gonna use your wish to turn her hair purple?
No, I'm going to point Orekeeper at the mud that is in her hair, and using mold earth, one of the things you can do is change the color of the dirt. I'm going to change the color of the dirt to bright purple.
Okay.
All right.
Go ahead. I still need that deception roll.
Can I just argue that I don't think it should be a charisma?
It's a disguise. It's deception.
Does he get advantage?
He gets
because of my
advantage because
assistance?
now it's purple.
Okay. Hey, all right. I rolled a 19 on the die, so 18.
You surprisingly do a good job. There's a couple sections in the hair where you can still see a couple blonde streaks in there, but for the most part, her hair is now purple.
I've used jungle camo before.
I can't believe this is working.
Right.
I can't believe this is a thing.
Okay. Well, I now have purple hair.
And I'll instruct her to occasionally like just rub some dirt on her exposed skin to help darken up her skin a little bit.
So my hands and my face.
Yeah.
That's pretty much all the exposed
Yeah.
skin I have.
So after all this is said and done, you may
it's
have
moving.
it. You may have an hour travel time before it begins to get dark. And it's going to take you about an hour to get back to that split in the road.
Guess that's where we're camping.
And just for posterity's sake, every hour I recast the mold earth since it only lasts an hour. It's an
Okay.
instantaneous cantrip, so it's not like it takes time or effort.
And there's no charges on it because it's a cantrip.
Yep.
My cat is now blocking.
It's my
That was
show
interesting.
now.
Cat's now DM.
Well, we're all gonna die by being pushed off the world.
Pretty much. Pretty much.
She just woke up, so she needs pets.
Dorngo would suggest that we maybe push a little past the hour it takes from the campsite to move along the left-hand path a little bit, because
I agree.
the fork in the road seems like an obvious place for a search party to be checking.
It's a fair
Even
point.
just like an hour into the other path.
Yeah.
Yeah, so like if it takes
Yeah.
us an hour to get back to the camp, like, you know, at least burn another hour heading, you know, to the left-hand path to make sure that, you know, we're far enough away to not get obviously seen.
It's definitely a fair point.
So,
Dorn,
oh, go ahead.
go ahead.
Go
I was
ahead.
gonna say, Dorango, I don't know if you are a druid that's able to do this, but I've known some druids in the past who were able to help us move more silently and not leave a trace behind us. Is that something you can do as we move down the left path? Try and hide any footprints?
I don't normally worry about stuff like that. The best I can do is I can make a few of us move faster.
That's all right. I'll just take something. I'll try and sweep up our footprints then. Now I'll try to gather some ferns to kind of sweep away.
But yeah,
footprints as we walk.
he's like, I know what you're talking about, but it's not something part of my training as druids. I can cast spell, yes, but it's not something that I use.
Fair enough. Everyone has their own set that they like. Things that they specialize in. Fine.
Alrighty, so as everyone begins to head back down the pathway and then into the left-hand path to begin setting up camp, let's go ahead and take our first break for the night. And when we get back, we'll see how well you hide from the quote-unquote search party. But stick with us, everyone. We will be back in about 5 minutes or so. As soon as I can see OBS to go to the screen. Evie, you need to move out of the way. But stick with us, everyone. We will be right back. Alrighty, we are back.
One of these days you'll stop lying to us.
I mean, not likely. So, you make it back to the path and you spend a little bit more time, about 45 minutes to another hour on the left-hand path, just putting you enough distance between the crossroad or the path split and the search party that is currently going on for you. And as you do, you come into a bit of an opening, giving you a little bit more breathing room than the narrow pathways that have led you both to the left and to the right were providing. But by the time you enter into this this opening, it definitely is getting to be a bit on the dark side. Those of you who do not have dark vision can maybe see 5 feet in front of you at the moment. There is no moon in the sky in this night.
Okay, cool. Dorngal is going to heed Big Brain's warning to not use a campfire. But because of that, is there... he's going to ask whoever can see better in the night than he can, if they can spot like a large field of, tall grass or something to that effect.
Do I see that?
A large field?
Like, like the jungle bush from the previous map, like a large section of that, or maybe, something we can hide in or get in between.
Maybe.
Basically what I want to do is I want to, between the road and whatever that large patch of grass is, I want to cast plant growth on it to overgrow it to hide us better from the road.
And I would also be wary of overly convenient openings.
Yeah, I like staying out in the open. I don't want to do that knowing there's something actively chasing us. But, we got to try and get some sort of, rest for the night. So I want to at least overgrow a patch of grass or trees or something between us and the road where we're staying. That way, that at least makes it harder for whoever's looking for us to find us.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's not 100%, but I mean, it's the best Dorngal can do considering this situation.
Understandable. So I'm going to take you to another map of the area that you are currently in. Yes, this is. So this is the clearing that you come across right as you exit out from the pathway.
Ooh.
So, like me, I like this area
I know.
because it
Wait.
looks like it controls
Which area?
like
Here.
this area,
Mm-hmm.
because it looks like we'd have our, if I'm reading
Backs to
the
the wall.
topography of this,
Yeah, you would have your back
we'd
to
have
the
our
wall.
backs covered and we'd have not direct line of sight from, like over this way, but basically, one way for things to come after us, which I mean can be used against you, but also controls what can see you at any given moment. And maybe Dorngal can do his plan to make it look even, or look even less inviting from, the main area here.
Mm,
So what are you doing, Dorngal?
so alrighty, so Dorngal is gonna take Rild's suggestion and suggest everyone move up into this corner. And then once we're all there, he's going to cast plant growth centered here, and then basically everything in 100 foot diameter from that center point, like normal plants. So basically anything that's not a normal plant isn't affected. All normal plants are going to be overgrown and the terrain becomes rough terrain.
Okay. So you pretty much cover a good portion of this map.
Was up in this corner here. Oh, why is my color so dark? Up in the top right corner where we were told to go, right?
We would be unaffected because the center point is here. So basically, like everything up to like this point here would be overgrown.
Gotcha.
So basically, we wouldn't be in rough terrain, but like we would have a significant portion of the map blocking us.
Just in case something came through.
Yeah. So
All right.
basically, so I just want to make sure. I just want to have everyone position themselves first, and then
Which corner are we going? The bottom right?
top right.
Okay.
I would take a moment to encourage the larger creatures amongst us to
Move further in the back.
move further towards the back from further cover or more cover.
I'm kind of
Sure,
a
I
lookout,
can get with that.
Yeah, and I would use these bushes as cover to make a little lookout position for myself.
FYI, those bushes are going to be are going to be difficult terrain when Dorngal casts his spell.
I ain't planning on moving once I make my nest.
Suffocation by plants.
All right, so I'm using the one action casting. And as far as I can tell, the effect of the overgrowth is it looks like it's permanent because it's an instantaneous casting.
Yep.
So because I can either make it overgrown, or I can do an 8-hour cast and basically make
Enrich
anything
it.
make the land enriched.
Before I head up into that corner, Amelia's going to signal to her brother that she'll be right back, and then she's going to go over here in this more open spot, and she's going to set up that tent again as a diversion.
Where are you sending the tent up?
Over here in the more open spot.
Okay.
Try and look like we have a tent. There's a tent over there. I'll even go as no, I won't do that. I'll just set the tent up. And then I'll come back over here and attempt to hide. I want to attempt to hide before I go to sleep. I want to attempt to hide in the bushes again, like I did the previous night.
Okay. Just become one with the bush.
Actually, I'll probably do it in the this bush over here. I know it's going to become overgrown, which is fine, but
Okay. So Everyone is on food rations for the night as no fire is to be made. The plant growth is, though, providing a bit of security for you. At least from prying eyes at the moment. What about watches? Anyone going to take watches, or do you think this is going to be...
I'll definitely take a watch.
Okay.
So will I.
Yeah, I can take a
Happy
watch.
to take one as well.
That covers the full shift.
It definitely does.
I could just sleep. Hell yeah.
Do we have enough time to start working on the hair dye that Dorngal mentioned he was
Yeah,
gathering ingredients for?
You've got a downtime. It's gonna take about an hour to prepare and then to input it into you. But yeah,
Okay. So before I come on with the bush, probably work on that.
okay.
And I'll probably ask Therian if he could help remove the mud from my hair, noticing what he was doing before.
Is a good question. Can he?
Yeah, can you get it off me?
I mean, you can basically just do move earth and just move the mud off her hair.
Yep. Sure can.
We need a clean applying
Right, it says
surface.
You can move it, so
Your
um,
grandfather's ancient hammer, and you're using it as a styling tool.
he'll look over at Amelia, and he'll just kind of bang the head of Orekeeper on the ground, and all of the mud in your hair is just gonna slough off.
Thank you.
All right. What color flowers were you going for?
Whatever grew naturally.
Was there any specific color you were going for? I'm giving you the option here.
Well, I mean, she didn't. She wasn't opposed to the purplish color in her hair, so he would look for anything that's that purple or around that color.
Something you can make the purple dye out of.
Yep.
Okay. You definitely did. So it takes again an hour, but you're able to streak like the entire growth of hair that she has on her head, I guess you would say. Her mane in just this bright, like natural purple color. It's got a very
Sure.
flowery scent to it as well.
I'm gonna use my time to just really work on making this hide as good as I possibly can.
Just trying to get as deep into that bush as you can.
Yeah, and I'm
Bush and eyes.
He just starts like digging holes and stuff, so he's got a trench and he's just like entrenched inside the bush, so only his head is kind of poking out.
And I also want to check the sight lines on the rest of the encampment to make sure that our party is as well hidden as
Pretty much,
we
unless
can
something
possibly manage.
pretty much unless something is coming from the from like on top, like over, like above you or going over you, nothing's gonna see you.
Oh, you mean like a flying tree?
Like a flying tree or a dragon or birds or something. Anything that would be in the air can definitely see you. But
The winged death will see us.
Yeah, I want to like encourage them to, when they bed down, to cover themselves with branches and leaves and whatever they can manage to do. But aside from that, I will go into my little hidey hole.
Okay.
And I will hide in the bush after my hair's dyed.
All right. Who is taking first watch?
I can.
Okay. Let's say, what about Dorngal, Rutgar, and Farron? Are you guys just staying out in the open, or are you gonna crawl into the bush as well?
Yeah. Well, I mean,
Well, since I'm not gonna be on watch, I'm gonna be in the bushes sleeping.
there, and then he'll hide like in this little
The little
outcropping. shadow.
undercroft there.
Yep.
Okay. So everyone settles down after eating their rations and settling into the foliage as much as they can. And Amelia.
More kind of do what I did the other night. I want to hide in the bush and then use perception to keep watch.
Okay. You can most definitely do that.
Do you need a stealth check for the bush?
No, you guys are pretty well entrenched in there. Like I said, the only thing that may see you is something flying overhead. Anything else is just gonna fail to see due to the overgrowth as well.
Alright, so that is a I can math. 18
Okay.
for perception. Set in. There we go. 94 on the percentiles.
Okay. So as you're hunkering down, you begin to hear some chattering, like almost bickering, coming from the the overgrowth that Dorngal had created. Very high-pitched voices. So what languages do you speak?
Draconic, Elven, Infernal, and Common.
You pick up Draconic as these two begin to argue about who about the foreman's favorite food. And it's just a bunch of very high, like they're not even trying to be stealthy, and you can see like every now and then the grass part ways a bit as they're moving through it, but they continue on the pathway without even noticing you or even bothering to look.
Just a night out in town, guys. So
I presume these are more kobolds. Great. She's a less cautious character. She would probably try to do something, but she's a cautious character. She's gonna sit here and let them pass.
Okay. And
I
then
mean, I'll listen in on the conversation as much as I can to see if there's anything I pick up, but
you pick up that he seems to like some sort of like blueberry tart.
okay.
Are you waking anyone up for their watch, or you just
Yeah.
gonna let fate decide?
I'll wake up. World right there, so I'll wake him up.
Okay, Rild.
I'll let him know that 2 kobolds passed by at the beginning of my watch.
and she used perception.
Mm-hmm. What I did, because I rolled low on that die.
I think. I think I'll actually do the same. Use
Okay.
Perception
Go ahead and give me a perception roll.
is by far my best stat. 28.
Okay.
And that's an 83.
28 and 83. So you begin to you start your watch, and much like your sister's, most part of it's uneventful. But near the end of your watch, you begin to hear small windpipes being played nearby.
Windpipes.
Like panpipes.
Pan flute?
Yeah, like a pan
Kind of thing.
flute. Yep.
I got PTSD now.
I want nothing to do with it.
But from where you're at in the grass line that's overgrown, you can't really catch sight of it, though the echo of the pipes itself gives you a feeling it's rather close.
I'm not gonna move to try to gain sightline. Right now my thought is that until it moves into my sightline, I don't want to do anything that can give away our position.
Okay. That's all that happens. If you don't investigate the pan flute, it goes on for a while into the next watch as well.
Oh, so it like seriously sticks around?
It sticks around and it keeps playing.
Oh God.
Yeah, okay. So, can you obviously based off of the senses that I can use, can you give me a basic general direction from
Like
where it's coming
around
from?
this area.
Around where we set up the tent?
Yeah.
Okay. So I would have been at least semi-familiar with the terrain before going to bed. I will come up here and probably not see anything, and then start moving very slowly and cautiously to here, and then you can't see that because that's not basically my movement would be to get to around that area, but very cautiously trying to find out what it is.
Okay.
Because if it's sticking around, that's another problem.
And when around what time do you start doing this?
I would say if it's been around for like 7 or more minutes.
Oh,
that's what I
definitely.
would do.
Yeah. It doesn't look like it's making any means to move.
Because it's making noise and I don't want it to attract other attention. So
Okay.
thought it was moving on. But
So when you get to there about 7 minutes in, you hear the pipes kind of hit a sour note, and there's a sneeze. It's like,
sneeze.
blasted allergies. And somebody needs to do some gardening. The pipes begin to play faster and faster and faster. As you're standing there, you notice that the grass begins to lower.
Okay, I want to get sight on this. So
And like as soon as it breaks, you can see a satyr sitting on the rocks playing hoop, and he lowers the grass down to about shin height for you.
Now, is this in this entire area? Like
Just
everything Dorngal did just shrink?
yeah, everything just went.
What does Rild know about satyrs?
I don't know. Go ahead and give me a history check.
That was my way of asking what do you want me to roll to see
Oh,
what I
okay.
know.
I'm like, I don't know.
Got a +0,
Nature.
so yay.
If only your
19.
bookish sister was there.
19. You know that they're mischievous tricksters. Some of the more well-known fae in folklore and tales of in villages and the like tend to like to party a bit. tend to like the drink. They give into pretty more of their hedonistic side. Drink, like, in a sense, wine, woman, and song.
I just looked at my equipment, and guess what I happen to be proficient with and have on me? Pan flute.
Oh no.
Oh, jeez.
Are we gonna get dueling banjos in here with pan flutes?
You laugh.
I don't know.
Dorngol
Might
is
be.
also proficient in pan flute.
Yes.
I will murder every single one of you.
I want this so bad.
I don't have it in my inventory, but I also feel like Rild is the kind of person who has a full flask with him at all times. But I leave that up to your discretion.
Sure. That sounds perfectly fine.
Mm-hmm.
Would I possibly know the song he was playing before?
The song that he was playing when he lowered the grass?
Yeah. Well, whatever songs I've heard him play, would I know
Not-
any of them?
Not really.
Okay, well, I'm going to pick the jauntiest, which I'm sure I don't know very many, but the jauntiest one that I know, and play it, but very softly.
Very softly.
Yeah, I'm not trying to be super loud, but should be enough to get his attention.
Okay. That's definitely something you should be able to do, but you begin to play. Give me a second, my cat's being...
Cat's being a butt.
I mean, it means the cat's being a cat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's constantly knocking at my door because it's closed, and well, if you have a cat, it's not allowed to be closed.
Mm-mm.
Doesn't
Makes me feel
matter
better.
what's on the other side of the door.
So it's
My dog does the same thing, but it's headbutts. He headbutts doors to open them. And will continue to do so until they open.
so you begin to play your flutes. Go ahead and give me a performance roll.
And I'm kind of walk over here and just lean against that rock face.
Okay.
Performance. Yeah, that'll be good.
Mm-hmm.
13.
Okay. Go ahead and roll me a diplomacy check.
Why do you hate me?
Do I hate you?
Diplomacy? That dude, that's Pathfinder.
Suddenly we're playing.
Oh, that's
Pathfinder.
Pathfinder. That's right. Give me a persuasion roll. There you go. Because that's allowed.
Okay. That one's a 12.
That one's a 12. Okay. I'm sorry. I'm trying to get some sort of song on here on Sirenscape to play, but Sirenscape's like, no, you can't have flute music.
My dump stat was strength, but let me just put it this way: charisma weren't far behind.
That's always fun.
Hey, your charisma's still higher than mine. I did dump charisma.
So
Darian has 3 dump stats.
Oh,
God.
poor Darian. So I'm guessing intelligence, wisdom,
And charisma.
and charisma. Okay, I was like, I think it should be charisma, but
Anything non-physical.
yeah.
Pretty much.
So you begin to play, and he matches you. And as you're doing this, you notice coming out of bushes here and another one out of here,
Oh, no.
2 more satyrs,
Oh, now you got it.
each with their own instruments as they begin to join in. They're not being quiet about it either. As
I have made a mistake.
everyone in the area hears this music now just blaring.
And from my position, can I see Real out there when I look towards the sound of the music?
Yeah, you can see your brother having a jam session with a couple satyrs.
All right.
Can I get up and move towards him, but not? I won't be looking threatening. I'm just going to get up and like meander, casually walk over, and sit down next to him as if I'm just enjoying the music.
Sure.
Alright. I will do that. And I'll sit down on the ground next to him.
The satyrs nod to you as you walk by, as they all continue playing.
I'll nod back.
At this point, I feel like I just gotta go with it. I'll take out my flask and take a swig of it and kind of indicate to them if they want some, they can.
And the one with the pan flute, you see like a spark in his eye as he hits like a high note on there, and near him, just like an Oktoberfest style table just forms in front of him, like various flagons of ale just all across it.
All right.
What is everyone else doing as the music is slowly waking you all up?
Sleeping.
About to murder someone.
Oh, like there is no ignoring this music. Like you cannot sleep through this.
Arrgh.
Can
At
I
this point,
keep-
I'm just hoping there's some Fey BS going on that they're making it a safe area.
Let's see.
That's
So Dorngo wakes up and he, like, as he comes down here, he'll see like, oh, it's satyrs. And what can I roll to know some satyr lore?
you can give me a history roll as well.
Can I do either a nature or survival, considering I'm a druid?
It would still be a history check.
Arg. Can I get advantage because I'm a druid?
You know what? Actually, yeah, because you are technically a Fey being yourself, you would maybe have knowledge of them anyway.
All right, so thank goodness, because my intelligence is not great. So that is a 19.
A 19. Pretty much the same thing as real. They're very carefree, yet quick to offend creatures.
Would he know that they're like forest protectors, or like, 'cause I think that's one of their things.
Some of them can be, yes. Others are just, there for the fun.
Alrighty, then he is going to. Let's see.
They're forest jerks.
They can be.
They're Fey.
They can be.
Nothing.
I'm hearing a lot of negativity towards Fey.
Nothing is more fickle than Fey.
Where's normal moose? Come on, you. I want to be a normal moose.
Yeah. While he's looking for the moose, what are the rest of you doing?
I will still playing, but start. You said the table was somewhere over here.
Yeah, let me bring up the table here.
But I'll still, while still playing, walk towards the table.
I am guessing a regular moose isn't.
Oh god, that
higher
is
than,
blurry as hell.
I'm figuring a regular moose isn't higher than CR1.
A moose?
Because the only moose that Beyond Roleplay shows is the awakened white moose, which is like, you know, it's like a CR3. And I'm like, no, I just want regular moose. It's like, so I
He
just
wants to be a forest creature.
yeah, so I just want to be like, you know, a big forest creature, you know, and just like be a moose and just like chill.
I imagine it would use the same stats essentially as like an elk or a giant elk or something like that.
Just be a bear.
Yeah.
It's too cliche. It's too cliche.
Dorgle
do
is
it, sir.
cliche. Come on.
When World starts to move, I'll wait a beat and then follow after him, but I kind of like try doing a graceful motion. Kind of almost looks like I'm dancing along behind him to keep the party atmosphere going as he's playing a lively tune.
So an elk is challenge rating 1/4. So
Yeah, that'll be an elk.
okay.
Totally within my purview.
So Dorangal turns into an elk. I will add this to
Is that a table of food?
Yep.
Yep. All right, you now have control of the elk.
Cool. The elk is going to slowly trot over to the food.
And it's like
And-
as soon as you trot over, this one just like pretty much jumps on your back and begins to ride you as he's, you know, playing.
All right. Well, I mean, I'm not gonna buck him off. I'm just gonna go for the table and start, you know, nonchalantly eating off the table.
Okay.
Well,
And,
so
and there's
the-
food, but there's a very large quantity of alcohol on the table.
yeah, so I think I would have gotten to the table just a little bit before that, but basically I wanted to stop playing my flute for a second and introduce myself to the satyr and greet him.
And as soon as you stop playing, he stops playing as well. And once he does that, the two other satyr that were with him kind of shimmer off.
Oh, really? Interesting. Okay.
Is anybody else that was in the bushes up to the north going to be joining this area, or are you just going to stay over there?
Oh Lord. That's the real question. What is my opinion of satyrs?
I don't know. What is your
What
opinion of
does the
satyrs?
centaur think of satyrs? That's a real question.
I mean, that is a good question. What does the centaur think of satyrs?
I mean, if we go by Lion Witch in the wardrobe, I mean, they fought side by side. You know, just, you know, depends on what mythology you want to go with.
Are Arthurian, Baron?
I am not, but I am gonna fuck with Therian though.
Oh no! What are you doing to?
God.
What are you gonna do to screw with Therian?
What is Therian doing right now?
Given his
Can
super
we-
low perception.
See that it's a satyr from where we are?
From where you're at, no, but Reaver kind of does give us a soft growl. It's like,
Yeah, that's what I thought.
I smell satyr.
Uh-oh.
Smells like beer and bad music.
Well, as much as I do enjoy beer and bad music, if there's Fae, you and I should stay clear.
We should eat it.
We should not. Where there is one, there is often more.
Good. It's a banquet.
Calm
Oh.
yourself, Reaver.
You know me and satyr.
I do. Wargs and Fae do not mix. We best stay where
Especially
we
when
are.
they give me a haircut.
I understand you are still slightly angry about the incident. However,
They shaved me bald.
I thought you looked quite fetching. Perhaps we stay where we are and rely on our keen senses and keep an ear out for trouble. If there is trouble, well,
I'll only take a small
Perhaps you-
bite.
yes, that is what I was going to get to, but perhaps a little more eloquently. Let us just remain for now.
Therian,
Yes,
gold, that way.
it's there. Now,
As I point
Activate
towards the direction of the satyrs.
the property on Orekeeper to detect precious metals and minerals
God dang
within
it.
And as
the
you
range.
you like detect precious ores and minerals, everything around you kind of just starts giving off this precious ore vibration.
Well, it looks as though you were right, although perhaps your directions were a little bit off there, Farron. It is not just over there, but rather all around us.
In the soil,
I think a good use of my time would be to begin
About-
digging.
50 feet down, is a large vein of platinum.
Holy shit.
Well, all right then,
Don't do it.
Reaver. It looks like we have a job to do.
Is it eating the satyr?
Perhaps if the satyr decides to interrupt us. But for now, you and I, we must go down.
Go down
I-
where?
Right here, in fact. And I'm gonna just take Orekeeper and
Is
begin.
he kind of like grabs hold of your arm with his mouth for a moment.
Oh,
You're telling me not to eat it, but you're going to piss it off by disturbing the soil.
I suppose I see how that may be perceived as a bit of a double standard. However,
Shiny.
we already have food. What we don't have is a vein of platinum.
Platinum.
God.
Platinum.
There's platinum down.
A whole vein of it.
I'll stand watch.
Good boy.
And he just like walks out here and just like makes himself seen. It's like the satyr cannot see the giant warg standing there.
Oh no!
And while this
no.
is
Yeah.
going on, the music stops. And like instinctively the satyr reaches out, grabs a one of the flagon's veil and just downs it and just throws the cup behind him. And as it kind of tumbles off, the flagon kind of just kind of explodes off into a bunch of little fireflies and butterflies before settling down into nothingness.
I legit thought he took a swig and was about to charge at Reaver.
Oh no.
Amelia's going to look at him and be like, I owe you some appreciation. It's not often I get to hear my brother play.
That makes two of us. I was wondering when he was gonna come out of the bushes.
He likes his bushes.
Well, you see it. This entire area has been kind of
Cursed.
dangerous for us.
The whole
So-
area.
Precautions.
Yeah. The big man's walking around, not really happy.
You upset about the curse?
And other things.
Pardon me, the big man.
Ah. Mhm. The walking tree, the big boss of the area. The emperor, so to say. He's sort of on the warpath.
You say he's upset about the curse, amongst other things.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it might be good for you to know we're here to hopefully stop this curse.
What about the dog over there? The one
He's
that's
with us.
staring at me and licking his lips.
He's with our party.
He's not going to be a problem, is he?
I think if he was going to be, he would have made a problem already.
Oh,
I think as long as you leave his dwarf friend alone, he'll be fine.
wait, there's a dwarf here? We've got one of those short bearded fellows.
We have a lot of people here.
You need to bring him down. I need a good drinking buddy.
Well,
And he just at the top of his lungs. Oi! Dwarf! Free beer.
Yeah, dwarf is far too fixated on digging right now.
And you just hear Farron keep digging.
Are
I
you
intend to.
sure there's a dwarf over there? I said free beer and it didn't come running.
He's
let me
not
let
very.
me go get him. He's kind of hard of hearing, hard of a lot of things actually.
Hmm.
And I'll walk over and find Tyrion probably halfway in a pit.
In the
Yeah,
meantime, may
so-
I join you?
Oh, yeah,
The,
yeah. Be my guest. Plenty of food and drink for everyone.
I'll sit down and pour myself an ale.
The neat thing about Orekeeper is while mining with it, every strike is essentially mold earth.
Mhm.
So he's like digging huge holes with every strike.
Oh
And
god.
both Farron and Christiana can see this happening as Rild comes walking up.
As he's digging, I am slowly pushing dirt back into the hole.
Oh, but see, mold earth, it keeps moving it out.
That's fine.
Like-
I'm gonna keep trying.
Tyrion,
He's in
Yes,
the
yes,
hole.
can I help you? Down here.
And you look down and he's a good 50 feet down a hole.
He likes holes.
I can see that. Remind me to ask you next time I need to create a hide. I think you might be faster at it. Your presence has been requested.
By who?
We seem to have Seder friend? Question mark.
Yes, I see. Tell him I have no time for satyrs.
He'll be offended.
Why are you digging this hole?
And as you ask that, Arian, you hear a very forceful heartbeat coming from the right of you, where the platinum vein is at. And you can feel the vibrations sort of rolling through the earth as this happens.
Well, that's unexpected. Well, this ore keeper's got another trick up its sleeve just for situations like this. Therian is going to stand still and place his hand on the side of the hole that he has dug in the direction of this vibration, and using the 60 feet of tremor sense that Orekeeper gives him while standing still, he's going to try to determine what it is that is causing this vibration.
Okay. And as you use the tremor sense, you extend Orekeeper out. And it's the platinum vein itself. As the heartbeat seems to be getting stronger every passing second.
Pushes more dirt in.
Well, if there's one thing that dwarves are known for, it is their ability to know when to stop before they have dug too deep. And I am not deep enough. So he's going to start digging.
Thank you for giving me a glimmer of hope.
Please let this kill him. That's all I ask.
So are you digging towards the heartbeat itself?
Yes.
And you dig and dig, and finally, as you mold the earth, it opens up into an expansive chamber where this platinum heart, is now just not really floating, but is suspended in midair. You can see various ventricles and stuff flowing off into different walls of this opening. It's very warm in here, almost as if you are back once again inside that of a dwarven mountain kingdom.
When you say platinum heart, like you literally mean a platinum
It
heart?
is a giant platinum heart.
Inside a Titan?
I don't suppose anybody has a light. It's a bit dark down here.
And as you say that, the walls itself begin to illuminate with bioluminescent veins running across it.
Oh, never mind. I found the light.
What?
Perhaps, if you have a rope or something, you should set yourselves up a way to come down here. I found quite the unique vein of platinum.
I just hop in.
That is a 50-foot
That's a
hole.
50-foot hole, yeah. So if you're gonna hop in, you're gonna take some damage.
That's 5d6
5d6
of
damage.
And I take 56 damage.
I mean, you
Really?
can take the damage. It would just really hurt.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And
Can I use my sword to stop myself?
no,
Darn.
your
God,
sword is not a
you-
climbing tool. If you were to use your sword to stop yourself, there's a chance you would break your sword.
I get a point. Yeah, sure. I'll use a rope.
Okay.
Seeing I'm fighting a losing battle, I'm going to go back towards the satyr.
Okay.
And try to be as friendly as possible.
Cristiano, what are you doing? Are you just gonna hang out there?
There's probably no way I'm going to be able to get down into that hole.
Probably not. I mean,
It's not made for the quadruped variety of people going down that.
yeah, horses aren't really good at climbing in or out of holes. They tend to
Nope.
just fall and break legs.
Yep. Well, I mean, the satyrs offered alcohol, so let's go there. Let's go do that.
Okay.
As I pass Reaver, I'm going to let him know that Therian has found a cave and is in it 50 feet down.
Yeah, I know. I'm keeping an eye on the satyr. If it moves, I get to eat it.
Don't eat the satyr.
Oh, I'm gonna eat that satyr.
Save
and I'm
that
gonna
for
like
the
it.
kobold.
Have you ever had satyr?
No.
They taste like cinnamon.
I'm
Right.
somehow not surprised.
Beer battered cinnamon.
Volo's Guide to Cooking.
Volo's Guide to Cooking.
Have you tried cinnamon? Tastes like cinnamon.
It's like it's like written in the in the gutter of like one of the pages.
Yeah.
When it talks about rare delicacies, it's like, in the conversation with some warg friends of mine, I heard that satyrs taste like, beer baked cinnamon.
Rild's going to turn to Reaver real quick and friendly, but trying to impart some urgency to this. Well, that satyr seems to know that tree thing we were warned about, and we have a slim chance to maybe have one thing not hunting us in these woods.
You're afraid of a giant stick.
A tree with wings sounds,
A giant
Not great.
flying stick.
you know what? Sure. I'm afraid of a giant flying stick.
I love Reaver.
Look, that little dancing goat leg barber doesn't come over here, we're not gonna have a problem. But if he gets close, I get to eat him.
Well,
And I'm hoping
he was
he
hoping
gets
to get
close.
to drink with Therian.
Well, tell him to bring a mug over here.
Does that sound? Does that sound like he's trying to get?
Oh, he's just trying to get.
Yes,
He's just trying to
yes.
get the satyr close so he can eat him.
He holds a fucking grudge. I love this
Oh.
guy.
He hates satyrs.
I love him so much.
Reaver's amazing.
Back at the table.
Please just don't. And I'm gonna
Okay.
walk back towards the table.
The satyr is there, kind of like looking at the elk, and then back over to Amelia. Kind of a strange group you got. Got you, brother. You don't look related. That dog, an elk, and a dwarf. Sounds like the start of a really bad bar joke. So
Does, doesn't it?
what brings you here?
I'm gonna point around. She goes, the thing causing all the death and destruction. We're after what's causing it.
You're going
We know
after
it.
that.
We know how to stop it, and we intend to do so.
Oh, you can stop it.
There's a way to stop it.
Hmm.
Not great, but there is a way.
I see. I don't believe you, but okay. You think you can stop it? Stop.
Would the Emperor be appeased if it was stopped? Would
Oh,
that
the
help his-
Emperor wouldn't be appeased by nothing. He's
Oh.
mad he's alive.
First aid is bad. Or
That
take a drink.
was-
I'll take a drink.
That was
That's fine, yeah.
unexpected.
I'll take a drink. I feel like sometimes life's a bitch.
Yeah, especially when you're a dragon who's killed and then a tree grows out of you and then you take it
Oh.
on its consciousness and now have to wander around like for an eternity as some abominated lying stick.
Wait, are you telling
That
me
is
a dragon died? Its bones were overgrown by a treant, and it turned into a Dracolich?
Not really a Dracolich.
It is.
was then
Is this
raised.
what I think it is?
I don't know. What do you think it is?
Is this a dragon leaf?
This is not a dragon leaf. No,
Oh, it's not a dragon
it's
leaf.
not a dragon leaf.
Interesting.
I am not familiar with this monster. I am
It's because it's new.
Oh, God.
I'm
Sounds-
scared.
I don't even
Should-
know
should
what
I
to
be
do
scared?
with this situation
Yeah.
at this
I
point.
need to know this. Should I be scared?
I don't know. It just all depends on what you do.
I mean, I think we should all be scared, like at
Yeah.
all times.
No.
Well, if you stick around for a while, he's bound to show up.
I think that would impede our quest that we are on. We would really like to complete that.
He kind
He
of like
wants to
looks
stop
up
us.
in the air. Huh. I mean, if you're out of here by in an hour, you
An
miss him.
hour.
If not, he'll be here. He kind of sleeps, plants himself, something, but he rests here.
That is good
Of
to know.
course he does.
I hope then you won't take offense that we will probably depart before that hour is up.
Why would I take offense? I'm just here to make sure that there's nothing here to harm him. Even
Uh-huh.
though he wishes he can die, I'm under exact orders of my boss not to do so.
And who would your boss be?
And he kind of just points down at the earth. It's telling me not to let him die. Something about it being important and a guardian and chosen and all sorts of nonsense, but who am I to disagree with the earth?
There's a lot of chosen ones going around then.
Hmm.
Seems like an easy thing people like to throw out. Get
Yeah.
people to do their work for them.
Chosen one is just another name for a patsy.
Agreed.
By this point, would I have come back and heard that?
Art Heart Studios, thank you for that raid. Oh yeah, like right as you come in, you hear him talking about how the phrase chosen one is just another word for patsy.
No, I mean his boss.
No, like
Ground.
when you come down, like that's all
Okay.
you catch is him talking about chosen ones being patsies.
All right.
I'll take another kind of put the I can drink to that motion and take a drink.
Okay.
And
So
I'll share
does
the
your-
sentiment.
where?
How's your boss feel about all these ogres running around?
Oh,
Seen a
the
few of them.
those big oafs been around forever.
And the lady who instructs them.
Oh, the hag. Eh,
Mhm.
She's okay. We play cards every now and then.
Interesting.
What 1
May I
second
add,
here.
just in case we have to come
Wait
in
a
contact
second, they
with her.
play their poker buddies.
Poker
What kind
buddies, I'm
of
done.
tag is she? What's her
One of the spellcasting types.
Thank you.
Just straight to the point. I love this guy.
what she, do you know what she specializes in though?
Magic.
Fair enough.
Look, you're asking me to give you specifics on not only my friend but a hag. It's kind of a death sentence.
I was only curious in case we would know how not to cross her.
Stay away from her.
Got it.
No, but really, what's up with the elk?
Do I realize that's Dorangal?
Probably, maybe. You know, Dorangal can turn into animals.
I have no idea. I have not seen it before. Usually in this forest?
You're muted, Azrin.
Durngal's just like gonna just nom on more of like the food on the table.
Wait, so this isn't your elk? This is just some flea-bitten forest creature who's eating my expertly prepared food.
It might be one of our friends,
When he
but
says
it might not be.
flea-bitten, Durngal snorts at it. Like he understood it, insulted him.
Can I make an insight check to see if I can
It's like-
understand that?
Oh, it's a smart one. It can understand my language.
Oh, that might be one of our friends.
He likes to
He
turn
has-
into animals.
He
We
does?
do travel with the druid.
Oh, is Christiana coming down?
Oh yeah.
I think she left just before Rill did.
And as like she walks down, he kind of like jumps up in excitement, seeing a centaur. Oh, this is this one of your friends?
It is.
So you've got centaur and a druid who likes to turn into. How would he like to be an animal forever? He kind of just like looks over at Dorangal in annoyance.
He technically is. So I don't
Like
think you do.
when he says like animal forever, like Durngal aggressively shakes his head like an elk would.
Then be a polite guest and turn back to whatever you actually are.
Do I know that he could change me into something permanently?
It's a
From
possibility.
from my previous role.
It's a possibility. Depending on the strength of his pipes, he may be able to do that.
Would you really want to take that freaking offer?
I don't think that's why he's asking the question.
It's like, I mean, just like animal shape. It's part of who he is as a moon druid. It's like I'm not gonna be threatened by some dumb little centaur.
And he kind of gets annoyed as you don't sort of change back instantly. So he jumps up on the table and he begins to like stomp on over to you, and he gets like right in your face.
At that point, I would say, Dorangal, please.
Oh, Dorangal's the name. Dorangal, I got your name now.
Thanks.
Turn back, or we're gonna have some trouble.
Would Dorangal know about name?
Dorangal's Dorangal is a Fey being, so yes, he would know about the
Um,
whole name thing.
Earlier in this campaign, you've pointed out Dorangal doesn't know.
When we were interacting with the
Oh no,
Mothman.
that's right. No, Dorangal. Yeah, that's right. Dorangal doesn't know because he wasn't technically
Oh no.
raised amongst them.
I'm
If
worried.
it helps you feel any better, Rild introduced himself. Actually introduced himself.
Amelia did not, and she probably just gave Earl the look of like, you done fucked up.
Come on, Dorngi. Clock's
So,
ticking.
Dorngold like walks away. He doesn't shape change.
Oh no.
He heads back over to the camp area.
And you see the satyr kind of like reach out and pull the pipes out again. I did warn him.
It's Could we offer you a gift in exchange for leaving him alone, maybe?
He's about to blow on the pipes and he stops. A gift.
Yeah.
I assume that payment can be exchanged for your friend's slight.
Certainly.
And he hops off the table and just goes sitting back out on his rock.
What do I have? What do I know? Kind of what satyrs tend to like when they make deals.
What's that?
They go. Do I know what satyrs tend to like when they make deals? Whether it be something precious, something
You know
fancy.
that you know that they are very hedonistic. So like the self pleasures, the beer, the
They're
song.
drunkards and horn dogs.
Yep, pretty much.
It's like pretty much imagine like
They're the fey frat boys.
pretty much yes.
Oh God.
I wish he was joking, but that's literally what they are.
I'm gonna play a satyr character later.
Guaranteed, if you got a group of them together, one of them's gonna do a cake stand.
I will. I don't want to do this, but I will. I'm going to pull out the good sack lunch bag that I got.
Mm-hmm.
Be like, I have this bag that's been enchanted. It will preserve whatever you put in it, food-wise. And essentially turn it into something that will sate your hunger all day. That way you can eat.
He
What you
kind
want.
of looks at it. Oh, that's Flipinda's handiwork.
Yes.
You're friends of her.
Friends is a bit of an extension. We ran into her on the way here. We kind of didn't have an option.
I'll tell you what. Out of my good nature, I'll just let your friend's slight slide.
We appreciate that.
And he kind of like sits back down a bit uncomfortable. Just like you can see that he's now like sort of physically uncomfortable. I need to get going. I've got stuff to do. The boss will be here soon. You understand. It was
I understand.
nice meeting you all. And like without even a second word, he hops off his rock and just jets off into the brush. The large table with the food and drink vanish.
More look right real good. How much you want to bet he's going to go tell the other hag who we all are? Turn and start walking back towards the party.
Yep.
And while
Yeah.
all
I'm
this
going
is
back
going
to
on,
tell everyone.
while
Yep.
all of this is going on, Therian and Farron are down in the hole in this large, expansive cave with this platinum heart. The bioluminescent veins along the cavernesque walls, illuminating the area. The heat emanating off of here would almost be too much for anybody who isn't used to being in a mountain dwelling. The heat increasing and then falling down with every heartbeat.
Am I able to approach the heart directly?
Being a
Or
dwarf,
is it
yes.
like somewhere
No.
out of reach?
Like no, you can definitely get to the heart. And like as you get
So-
closer, the heat does increase. but because you are a dwarf, again, you're able to withstand the immense heat, and like to where anybody else may have been repelled or even found it way too uncomfortable to be in here.
Therian is not a wise man.
You don't
So
say.
Or a
He
smart
would.
one.
Or a smart one, or a charismatic one. He's not particularly dexterous either. He would just go right up to the heart and place a hand on it, trying to feel any sort of, not really sure how to phrase this. I mean, when you're touching a living being, you can feel that it's a living being versus touching like cold stone or metal or something. And so touching the heart, he's trying to determine if it feels like it's part of some sort of living organic creature, or if it's just
So
a platinum heart that is somehow animated.
you reach out and you touch this. The moment you do, multiple visions begin to flash through your eyes as you are taken on like this rocket ride across the entire surface of the Wildlands to the border where ends meet goes into the next territories, and then deep into the ocean, following down the land itself and circling underneath it, where you can see these pulled in legs, 4 of them, large metallic claws gripped in a fist. And you begin to go along the underside of this well, the island, or not the island, but the landmass itself. You come to a long neck, various spines poking out of it, every now and then juts of lava spraying out, rapidly cooling and falling down deeper into the ocean. And you come to where the point would be that separates the border of the landmass where final rest is at. And you see you can almost make out the shape of a draconic head. And then you're taken back into your own body. And there's a sudden realization that the landmass you are on is alive. You are on an ancient dragon. The Wildlands itself, the magic that emanates and warps everything around it into gargantuan size, creating wondrous and horrific creatures and rocks, and the items, or the flora and fauna itself, are all thriving off of this dragon's power.
Did I get the sense from that the dragon is here by choice,
Oh,
or
yes,
that it's like wounded in some way and has no choice but to
It's
be here?
asleep.
Or it's asleep.
It's
okay.
asleep. And judging from what you've seen, it's been asleep for a while, quite some time. Enough to where a civilization has been formed on its body and has been allowed to thrive, and to the point to where it's got its own trade, it's got its own traditions, has its own people who come and go. None the wiser that they are living on and living off of the bounty of a dragon.
So keeping my hand where it is placed on the heart, I'm going to turn to look at the entrance to this little cavern, see if Farron has made her way in yet.
I would assume so.
Yep. And Farron, you're standing in the entrance of the cavernous area where the heart is at, and you see Farron with his hand on it.
I'm just gonna like cock my head and be like, heart?
We've just discovered something that is perhaps beyond words.
What is it?
What would you say if I told you that everything that we know and have developed and built over generations has been on the back of a very, very large dragon?
Trying to put the the sanity-wise dwarf down.
No. You see, I've had battles with very large dragons before. Quite extensive battles. I was actually even part of an army of 3,000 dwarves that stormed the lair of an ancient dragon. That is besides the point. No. This land is the dragon.
Just stop. As he's trying to like saying that this is a dragon heart, I'm gonna try to see if I can speak Draconic to the heart, I guess.
Okay, what do you say?
I said I'm pretty much gonna be like, are you awake?
There's not any sort of verbal response, but as you say that, the heart kind of quickens a little bit, and the veins along the cavern walls glow a little bit brighter for just a brief moment before settling back down.
Perhaps you should not wake it up. I say that only because, well, everything we know is on its back. And if it wakes up and decides to perhaps go for a quick flight around the world, we may fall off of its back. And that is a lot of people falling off of its back.
She's just gonna ponder a bit, and then she gets it, and she's gonna be like, go back. No hole.
Yes.
Why?
Yes, I agree. I'm going to take my hand off the heart, and I assume accompany Farron back to the entrance to this cavern. And if we are both ascending out of the hole, I will be using mold earth from Orekeeper to collapse this tunnel behind us as we go up.
All right. And as you begin to go up, are you molding the earth back underneath you so it closes the tunnel?
Was there
as well?
anything else in the room besides the heart?
It was a heart chamber.
Just a heart chamber. Okay.
Yeah, so mold earth does 5 cubic feet at a time, so we'll go up 5 feet, I'll collapse the 5 feet below us, we'll go up another 5 feet, I'll collapse it below us, etc.
So by the time you do all of that, everyone else is coming back from their little talk with the satyr.
I will mention to Therian, never mention this.
Well, I feel like perhaps even if I did mention it, a lot of people would have the same reaction you did.
Good.
When we're walking back, do we see that? Can I tell that Reaver really wanted to eat Satyr?
Oh yeah,
I'm gonna look at him, be like, maybe we should have let you eat him.
That's what I was saying. You can't trust them.
Pissed.
Why did he run off all of a sudden?
he saw Flipinda's handiwork. It either scared him or he ran off to report us to the other hag. Either way, we need to move because that creature is going to be here within the hour.
The flying
Apparently,
stick.
this is where he rests. Yes, the flying stick. Apparently, he grew out of a dragon and is now here.
Dragon, you don't say. How interesting.
And Reaver kind of turns back. The hell is the platinum, old man?
Oh, yes. You see, Ore Keeper is older than I am, and sometimes it gets a little mixed up. It comes with age, you know.
Can I insight that? Because
Oh,
that doesn't
yeah.
sound right for magic.
You definitely can insight that.
Are you saying magic doesn't get senile?
I
I
think it
am.
was.
Liches
No,
do.
just dwarves who wield it.
Liches do.
That's
This is-
27.
At 27
Yeah.
Okay, this is going to be versus my deception. I
versus your
guess.
deception, yeah.
Good luck.
Can you even roll a 27?
No, I can't even roll
Well,
a 20.
I want to see how
I was gonna
badly.
say, can you even roll high enough to beat that number?
I'm thinking not that.
Do I get anything for rolling a 0?
So in that
Yeah.
case, can I tell that he's trying to hide
Everybody-
something down the hole?
Everybody knows that you are full of it.
What was in the hole, Therian?
Nothing.
I didn't ask you.
He said
What
it
was in the hole?
He said it was a platinum vein. Whole reason why I was standing guard and keeping an eye on that walking snack. But he comes back up with an item that's supposed to be able to cleave the earth and mine wondrous things in a short amount of time, and yet he comes back empty.
I'm guessing this is out of character for him as well.
This is a double disappointment, old man.
It
We
was
have no money, and I have no snack.
more trouble than it's worth. You know, I wouldn't want to get us into a situation we can't.
As he walks over to you and he begins to sniff.
That's fine. What was in the hole?
Well, he
was-
is Therian. You just said it was more trouble than it's worth. What was down there, old man?
You know, I don't think you would believe me even if I did tell you.
Try me.
Yes.
I don't want to.
Therian, I have had a very bad night. Do you really want to piss me off right now?
So have I.
I'm not trying to.
Old man, you have never kept anything from me.
Can I try to intimidate
We-
Therian?
Our brothers. We share. What did
We
you
talk
see
about
down
this
there?
on the move. We need to get out of here.
Whatever's not old was enough to rattle Therian, and he wouldn't.
So whatever's in that
What-
hole, we should get away from.
Whatever
We
was
can
in
talk
that
about it
hole
later.
was enough to rattle the old man away from a large score of platinum.
Well, you see, some things are a little more trouble than they're worth, and when things are that much trouble, it's usually because they are quite powerful, and when you have a lot of power, somebody else wants to take it from you, and I don't really want to put that sort of target on our backs. And you know, we wouldn't even know how to properly harness the capabilities of what is down there. I wish I could, but I could
Oh
not.
God, no! Oh God, no!
You wish you could.
Oh shit!
Therian, I don't want to harness whatever's in there, but
Therian!
with all the stuff that's happening, I think we need to know what's down there so we know that what we are avoiding.
Therian, you just said you wish you had the capability to harness what was down there.
I would like to remind everyone at this point that Therian is not a wise man.
Oh, why would you do that?
Rild has been packing up his stuff since the last point he tried to make.
I think I'm done.
So,
Oh,
as
God.
you say that, there is a crack of lightning, and you see a streak of silver come across the sky and embed itself right in front of Therian. As you see this beautiful crystalline sword in front of you. Archaic runes scribed up the blade.
Oh,
The
Amelia's gonna look
handle
at there and go,
itself made out of a very pure white bone. And at the top where the pommel is a large dragon's head.
gonna look at there and be like, "What did you do?
Well,
What?"
this might be completely unrelated. Things fall
you
from the
say-
sky a lot around here.
So is this a non-metallic greatsword? That's
This is a crystalline greatsword.
so. Dorngal turns back into bear form, and if Therion's not gonna grab it,
And
Dorngal's
he
gonna
is.
grab it.
He is.
It's
I
like-
want everybody to give me a perception roll.
Damn it.
Oh lord.
Well, that was the perfect
As-
time for that.
As he was going, like, this might be unrelated, he's like picking it up and
19.
Natural 20 for 29.
Oh,
That was the perfect time to get that.
19.
Dirty 20.
I'm tempted to. You know what? No. I'm not gonna use it because I know I'm gonna need it for something else. That is going to be a 11.
So anybody
that
who
is a
rolled
fail.
above a 10, because it's very obvious,
Oh,
where the blade struck into the ground, you can now see veins of necrotic rot begin to spread out from it as the ground itself begins to bleed.
Darian, I don't think this is unrelated. Why did you find that hole?
Ancient Platinum Dragonheart.
oh yes.
You said,
Well, there was.
how big?
It turns out that the
Very.
platinum was alive, you see, and it was the heart of a dragon that is apparently this continent.
And
If I remember right, we know that Darian had wishes.
but with you, Emily or Amelia, you put two and two together why the guardian sleeps here. It's there to guard the heart.
That flying thing guards the heart. We need to get out of here right now. Don't do anything with that sword.
Oh, I already picked it up.
And as you yell, "Don't do anything with that sword," you hear an audible, like, not a shriek, but a roar echo throughout the sky above you as
Yeah.
crashing
Sounds like
behind
twigs.
you in an
I'm going-
enraged state is this huge. Let me bring it up on the map here.
Oh God, no, please. No. If it's not on the map, we don't have to fight it.
No, it's already happening.
I gotta
So it's
go.
we're all-
Had chances to talk about it on the move, but
So
Nope.
is this large, or I should say huge, winged-like tree creature.
The fuck is that?
What?
I am just turning around and casting anti-life shell around us because we're all grouped up and talking.
Oh dear.
As
It would
this
be
thing
pretty if it wasn't so
begins
angry.
to just radiate this anger and frustration as it's staring down on all of you. The wildlife around it beginning to almost emanate its rage as rocks begin to shake and lift off of the ground momentarily before they come crashing back down. And it just lets out another roar, leaning its head down, a tail coming up over its shoulder as it begins to rattle. And that
What's
is where we are going
happening
to end for this week.
Point at the dwarf.
Did I get the spell off?
Anti-life shell?
Yeah.
What is
We're all grouped up.
anti-life shell? What does that do?
It's an action. It's a barrier, 10-foot radius barrier that nothing that's other than undead and constructs, like nothing can pass through.
Okay. So you bring up that barrier.
Yeah.
That's one action. So yes, you can definitely bring up the shell at this time.
Yeah. That is what she would do.
But as the shell comes up and you are staring at this enraged dragon, that is where we are going to end.
Alrighty.
Whoa.
And that is the Emperor.
Oh, that's not good.
It's a monster in Toma Beast 2 known as a Forest Emperor.
That's actually really cool.
It is really cool. This whole thing is actually really cool, but the I wish statement scares the living shit out of me.
Oh, it should. So a Forest Emperor is when a particularly hardy child of Yggdrasil comes across a still flesh corpse of an adult older dragon, it attempts to devour the dragon's heart and metamorphosize it into a larger and more vicious aberration known as a Forest Emperor.
Okay then.
So basically, a treant ate a dead dragon and turned into a stronger version of the dragon it ate.
Yeah. It is.
Can I have those powers?
It is a combination of an ent or a treant and a dragon.
That is all kinds of bad juju.
I know what's bad juju is what a certain dwarf wished for.
Yes, that is what scares me the most out of this entire situation.
Yup.
He now has control of the continent, potentially, or harness the power of the continent.
Oh no, he doesn't.
He wished for the power to be able to, like, I think
he'd be able to harness the power.
No, I think that sword can actually kill the dragon that we're on top of.
Alright, it's got anti-death written on all of it.
Because normally everything was dirt until the sword hit it, and then it turned necrotic and bled.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm pretty sure that thing is gonna make a beeline for Therian and try and lop his head off.
How many wishes does Therian have left?
None.
That was the last one.
Oh, thank God.
I was keeping track of OC because I was basically, it's like, oh man, like the worst thing that can happen is Therian like inadvertently says I wish, and then bad thing to wish for immediately follows that.
Yeah.
So it's like, since I've been preparing my heart for this moment.
So that took a turn.
Yeah.
That took so many turns in our
I don't even know how to process this right now.
So this whole thing that you guys are doing, this little mini adventure, is what the Tuesday night crew would have gone through if they had actually landed and made it to final rest.
Oh God, if we actually
maybe the bell was a good thing for them.
If somebody didn't ring a bell and then transport the ship into the side of a mountain, the Tuesday crew would have done this.
I would have shot that heart.
Yeah, Tickles would have shot the heart.
Oh yeah, definitely. Tickles would have shot that heart.
Yeah, Tickles would have shot the heart. Tickles would have used the blunderbuss on the heart.
No. Tickles would have used the celestial pistol on that heart.
Yeah.
Celestial pistol,
yes.
Oh my God.
Because the celestial pistol would have absorbed the power of that dragon.
Yeah.
And then it would have misfired.
And then the world explodes.
Oh God, can you imagine the misfire from that thing?
I can.
I don't want to.
Don't you dare blow up the world. I've worked hard on this map.
I've already had a character go through, like, genocidal wishes.
No.
Well, you don't want another wish that just collapses all reality around you?
No.
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 I've experienced that. First
yeah.
season.
Then
Yeah.
Rose will have to deal with the liches. So,
Fuck that.
I did have one question though.
Mhm.
With Amelia's realization that this thing is there to guard the heart, would she also know whether or not that when the satyr was talking about the dragon that was upset that it was alive, that it was talking about the landmass dragon?
Oh no, it's talking about the Emperor.
Talking about the Emperor.
It's
Okay.
talking about the Forest Emperor.
Okay.
It's pretty much enslaved on the island.
Yeah.
It doesn't want to live, but it has no choice but to.
Okay. Okay.
But yeah, islands, or it's not even an island. This is a connected landmass. So it's
What is it connected to?
the rest of the continent.
Yep. Yep.
Can we get a picture of the map again?
Yeah, we can.
I'd like to
Actually,
see,
I'm taking a screenshot of the area that we're in right now.
yeah, there we go.
because I want to see the actual like
Yes,
length of
Rosa,
this
they
fucking
are
dragon.
the entire continent, or the entire landmass, where up until where the border of where Final Rest is at, is a dragon.
Okay.
This world just has all sorts of giant dragons.
We had a giant turtle. Yeah.
Yeah, like, there's all sorts of island-sized things exist in this world.
Okay,
Yep.
so link I'm posting in chat there, that is the continent that the Wildlands and Kamiraska are on.
So you
and the
see-
Wildlands is the area that we're in for this campaign.
So you see that split where the ends meet and
Yeah.
Wildlands is at. I don't know why I keep calling it Final Rest. Final Rest is something else. That split right there down the middle is where the dragon is separated from the island.
Oh my
Well, I see
God.
2 little legs and arms and a tail. Does that count?
Oh no, see, everything that's above water
Oh.
is its back. Everything
Yep.
else is underwater.
I'm gonna need someone to draw a red outline for me.
That is. So imagine like the giant turtle from Avatar, where there was like basically a
world
giant floating
turtles.
Yep.
island on
Yeah.
its back.
It's an island turtle.
Oh.
Replace the island turtle with island dragon.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay, I get it now. We're fucked. Okay.
Yep.
We're fucked.
Hey, maybe
Goodbye.
it can go have a disagreement with the giant blue one that's flying around.
I mean, if we just
We'd
leave
have to wake it
alone,
up
maybe
first.
we'll be fine.
You and that damn sword tells me it's not.
It'll be fine.
So I was confused when Therion was having the flashes. All I heard was something about claws and
Yeah, it's like-
underwater.
Like, because as you go, he was taken around like a tour of like, just like a jet
He-
tour over the top of the island, giving you like the topographical
He
thing.
was being shown
Okay.
where
And then
the
he was
different
taken-
parts of the dragon.
He was
are.
taken underwater to like the underside of the landmass, where the dragon had its legs and arms tucked in. You could see the large metallic claws, and then it went to the neck where it was shooting out jets of lava that were then like rapidly cooling and falling deeper into the ocean.
Fox, did you just give Rojan your fucking cataclysmic dragon?
Oh no, this
Nope.
is
Nope.
a dragon that I've had.
No. The other one's
No.
just flying around
Mhm.
elsewhere. Fox is actually eventually going to be adding that continent out there
Yep.
as a thing.
This
No, that one's flying around.
Yeah.
I never ever
This
ever
is
wanna
a-
be in front of that dragon.
This
That
is a
thing-
this dragon is a primordial.
I
This
don't want
is like, I've been around since the birth of this world type dragon.
I need time to process.
Yeah,
I'm done.
As a druid, I am super conflicted because it's like, okay, so we're on a dragon, but the dragon is the land. We may need to destroy the dragon, but that means I have to destroy the land. I don't.
But druids worship the land. Does that mean you worship the dragon?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What do I do? Let's see.
Amelia has no qualms
And
with
at
the
that
dragon.
point, are you technically a follower of Tiamat?
I mean, God.
For all
It
we
sounds
know,
like it's a metallic dragon, so
for all we know, we have to protect the dragon, not destroy it.
Yeah, the metallics are assholes.
Yeah, this
By the way.
this isn't
No.
a metallic. This is a primordial.
Primordial, yeah.
This
It's-
is
Oh wait, no, metallics.
Is there-
Metallics are the ones that
chromatics are the assholes.
chromatics are the
Metallics-
assholes. Metallics just are like, well, I mean, you exist.
they're the indifferent dragons.
Yeah.
The
They're like introverts.
Amelia is less concerned with the dragon than she is with the thing that's been enslaved to it that doesn't want to live but is being forced to.
Yeah,
That is right in her domain right there.
the emperor who just wants to be released, but it can't.
She now feels more of a calling. More than the calling to stop the damn miasma is a calling to release this thing.
But if we kill it, then the heart doesn't have a guardian anymore.
I know
Anyway.
that's where she's torn. that's the conflict.
It's all right, unless you're a dwarf with an ancient hammer from your grandfather that can sense where
Yeah, can sense where
precious
the platinum
metals
heart
are.
is.
You know, when I created that hammer, I was like, oh yeah, this will be cool. I'll find like rubies and stuff as we travel.
No, you found that the island is a freaking dragon.
You know, I have a lot of questions for you, HB Fox, that we shouldn't have revealed
I
right
don't
now,
have a
so I
lot
don't
of
want to
answers.
answer. So, wow.
So yeah,
That's the thing.
that is going to do it for us tonight. Thank you everyone for tuning in, as everyone is now conflicted about being on the back of a giant primordial island dragon. But this is
Shockingly, I don't care as much about that.
But that is not the only show that we have for you on this channel. Right now we've got 3 shows going on every week. On Mondays, right now we have a mini adventure of No Way Out, which is a 5th edition mini adventure that HB Fox is running us through, where we're all a bunch of dumb knoll pups trying to not die as we stumble our way through the Mirage deserts.
Yeah,
We're
if you want to talk
somehow
about a
still
campaign
alive.
with characters that are pissing off dragons, that one.
Had it coming. But when we don't have this mini adventure and we're back to the normal schedule, it's going to be going back to what was our Mass Effect game called?
Mass Effect
Horizons.
Horizons.
Mass Effect Horizons. I almost said Andromeda, but that's the video game. Mass Effect Horizons, which Zorro is running us through a Mass Effect 5th edition mod. Going good. We just met a Spectre before we went on the break, so I'm
Yep,
itching to
we
get
did.
back to find out what the hell that's all about.
And the party is technically split at the moment because 2 of us were in
Did
a
the one
spaceship
shot.
having a heart-to-heart.
That is true. That is true. After how we ended the last episode.
I have my suspicions on why the Spectre showed up too, that I want to resolve.
On Tuesday nights right now, you have us here for Into the Wildlands, which is a mini adventure that's taking place in the same world as the key Tuesday night campaign of Destiny Forged. It's also the same world that No Way Out is taking place in, and it's also where a lot of our D&D one-shots take place. It's a world that HB Fox and I have been working on together and creating since I want to say the start of season 2 is when we started throwing everything together for this.
Yeah.
And it's just been adding on, like we were even talking about a multiverse for it. So
Mhm. Yeah, we had to dive into the solar system stuff to finish doing the calendar stuff. And one thing led to another, as it always does.
and then space. And then on alternating Saturdays, we have 2 different shows. Upcoming on this Saturday is another episode of Withered Wastes, which is a 5th edition post-apocalyptic D&D game where a bunch of high elf mages from Kamiroska have pretty much caused an apocalypse scenario to happen on a small island, and now our wonderful players are living through it 200 years later. And then on the alternating Saturdays, we have Wayward Wanderers, which is a Pathfinder 2nd edition campaign of the Extinction Curse, which Azern is running his own little group of murder hobos through.
They're trying. They got better this week.
Only burnt down 1 bar.
I mean, no. I mean, they actually, they actually decided to, not turn the entire town against them, and
Usually a good thing.
decided to it's like maybe we should actually help the town, like we initially were asked to, and see what happens.
Oh,
But
come on, seriously.
yep. And that will do it for us. If this is your first time in here, or if you missed any of the past shows, all of our episodes are up on our YouTube channel. You can catch all of This Mini Adventure, No Way Out, all of our one shots, Wayward Wanderers, Withered Wastes, and I believe episode 60 on of Destiny Forged, as that was when we started actually picking up the YouTube channels. But yeah, so that is going to do it tonight. Thank you so much for tuning in, and we will catch you on Saturday for another episode of Withered Wastes. Till then, have a good one, everyone.